The following podcast contains strong language and alternative facts. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Heel Podcast. Over the airwaves and under the influence, we are Turning Heel.
Let's get the shindig started, and you know what that means.
It is another episode of the Turning Heel podcast. Man, that feels weird, me not saying that to start this episode off, but I am the Griz here as always, and as you heard, the sultry, dulcet tones of Chris motherfucking Hughes.
You know what it means. Hi, guys.
And
Hi.
And also with us this week, rocking the straight black tank top. There you go. That's the words I was looking for.
Wife beater.
Great. Wife beater. It is Robert the Robot. Meow. Hi, Katie.
You may have noticed there was a slight difference to our intro there, and that's because exactly 1 year ago yesterday, the Exalted One Brody Lee debuted in AEW on Dynamite. So we just wanted to throw a bit of a salute your way, Brody.
Tribute.
We love you. We miss you.
I am also wearing my Brody Lee tribute T-shirt, completely unplanned. So I love it when a plan comes together.
I'm washing mine.
I wore mine this morning. Then I went out on the bike and got all sweaty, so I changed. So I'm now wearing my Chris Renthrough Crash Bandicoot version T-shirt.
Yeah, nice. Which is a great T-shirt. Well, once again, it shouldn't have become a catchphrase, but it seems like it's becoming a catchphrase. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So shall we dig into the first of multiple hours of wrestling for this week?
Indeed.
Well,
Are we opening with Dark Evolution? Elevation, that's what I'm looking for. Because I have a gripe with it, one that I've already said to you guys in the group chat.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I have realized recently on every YouTube video, I don't think it's specifically this thing's fault. I think YouTube are really upping the adverts on everything now.
It was unwatchable, man. Like, it was unwatchable.
Yeah, go for it.
Like, I actually set time aside to watch it because I knew we were going to talk about it. And I lasted about 10 minutes before I turned it off, man. It was just, in those 10 minutes, there must have been 3 batches of adverts. It was fucking horrendous. And I don't think it is YouTube because, I don't know how it works in the YouTube world. If anyone does YouTube videos on YouTube channels, you can clarify this. Please give us a shout at Heel Podcast on all the social medias. But I know from putting this podcast out and looking at advertising and stuff like that, see when I put an episode out, I can specify time spots in that episode that plays an advertisement.
Yeah.
And obviously the more advertisements you put in it, the more money you make. I get that, right? But I can specify time spots where an advert plays. Right? Surely it's the same for YouTube.
Yeah,
surely it is.
I don't know, to be honest, but I know what you're saying when it comes to those adverts, because your first match was actually a really good match between Danny Limelight and Jungle Boy.
Completely ruined by the fact it stopped every fucking 3 minutes.
Oh my god, yes. It finally managed to peter out slightly as time went on. So it did start, like, it started heavily and sort of gave you a bit more over time. But what I'm thinking is see now that YouTube are really trying to push this whole premium thing to like the next level. I genuinely am starting to think that that's what they're doing, is they're just making more and more adverts per video. Because even like I've been watching.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think so. I think they might be offering people more money to run more adverts now than they were before in order to push premium. But like I say, I'm purely basing this on putting podcast episodes on. I can specify ad rolls at any point in the episode, literally by the hour, the minute, and the second. Like, it's got to be the same for YouTube. If anyone does YouTube videos, like I say, please let us know if that is the case. But the first 10 minutes of this show was fucking painful, man. Like, I just gave up. I'm just like, nah, I'm not watching this. Like,
how did you watch it on your computer, or did you use your Fire Stick?
on the computer.
Right. There seems to be a bit of a way around the ads.
uh-huh.
I cast a lot to a Chromecast to watch YouTube, and I rarely get an advertisement for anything.
Did you watch this?
No, I did not.
Can you do us
Because
a
I've
favour?
got extra 2 fucking hours!
See before the next episode, right, of this podcast, see the next episode of Dark Elevation, can you do that and see if you get anywhere near the many adverts we do?
I'll do that.
Okay, let's give it a go and we'll see. We'll see the results. Live action results. Well, what we'll do is we'll batter through the results while Robert looks at this then, and we'll see what comes of it.
Griz, completely, you are the workhorse of this podcast for the fact that you sat through this with all these fucking adverts, because I gave up. So this is all news to me.
I feel like I'm the workhorse of every podcast because I
Started.
Right. Okay.
Danny Limelight's already coming out with no advertisements before it.
Right. Well,
There wasn't any before it. It's wait till the match starts.
yeah, it's during the match. So I'm pretty much just going to do the same thing. So this will be the first ever edition of the AEW Dark Horses Top 5 Elevation. So Danny Limelight came in with a 0-3 record, taking on Jungle Boy. And during this match, we found out that Jungle Boy has wrestled in over 60 matches in AEW, which is the most of any wrestler on the AEW roster.
I believe they called him a workhorse, which we just used there. That
just
was not
coined.
intentional whatsoever. But
Well, there you go. Baron Black and Karen Morales, with their 0-0 tag record, took on Miro and Kip Sabian. Then QT Marshall gets interviewed and fobs off the interviewer when he was once again asked about walking out on the Nightmare Family. Skylar Moore, with her 0-1 record, took on Big Swole. Marco Stunt took on QT Marshall, with QT Marshall picking up the victory there. There was this really cool little piece on Big Shotty Lee Johnson, kind of talking about him sort of growing up as a wrestling fan, and he had a relative who was known as the Shotgun. I think he was in baseball or something like that. So he was originally known as the Shotgun Lee Johnson, but I wouldn't reckon that they would probably want the nickname Shotgun being on television. So he changed it to Big Shotty.
They do a Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Good point. Didn't think of that.
yeah,
And then,
I think-
well, there goes that theory.
well, I'm just going to throw a wee counter against that. I have no idea if it's true or what. I think the shotgun is a bit more freely available weapon in the States than a machine gun.
Are you sure? Because it is fucking America. You can buy machine guns at Walmart, I'm sure.
You can buy automatic rifles, not machine guns. Two very different things.
Pretty sure they sell them buy one, get one free.
What deal?
Bog off.
Don't say that to somebody that's buying a fucking gun.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a friend that's scared to go to America because he thinks he'll get shot. True story. I'll tell you who it is off air. But
Okay.
I live with an American, so I don't piss her off in case I get shot.
good point. Good point.
You never know what she managed to bring over there.
Oh, and plus, you know she's crazy because she's from Jersey.
Jersey.
Joyzy.
Jersey.
You don't want to
I'm
mess with those
watching
Jersey
here.
chicks, man.
No, you don't, man. But a cap in your ass.
Pew pew.
Pew pew.
Jersey edition.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew pew 9 stitch in time.
Funny story, right? Very quickly. Obviously, as you're aware, well, as you guys are aware, probably listeners aren't, I've started to pick up playing the old darts. So, I was playing my uncle.
I think we've applied that before.
Yeah. I was playing my uncle the other day, and we were talking about the nicknames the darts player I've got, like dart players, I've got, like the Phil the Power Taylor and all that. So I'm like, to him, what would your darts nickname be? And he went, he's like, I don't know. So I'm like, I've got one for you. He's like, Shooter. And he's like, Shooter? And I'm like, Shooter McMurchie. And he went, oh, that's a cracking nickname. So see, every time he beats me now, just to wind him up, he'll throw his final dart to beat me, and I'll go like, pew, 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 pew. Shooter strikes again, and now it pisses him off. Something chronic, man. And it's thanks to this podcast that I go, pew, 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 pew.
What's your darts nickname, Chris? Shitehawk?
No, I don't have one.
The fridge.
I was considering big shoes.
The
Why?
combi boiler?
Why? So
Yeah.
what do they say about people with big shoes?
Their
I was
dicks.
going to say because you're hot. That's why I called you the combi boiler.
Aww. I'll be around later on, honey.
Yes.
I was calling you the fridge because you're normally full of beer.
Which is a very accurate description of the 3 fridges I have in this flat.
I know, and half of those fridges are probably inside you right now. Half of those fridges' contents. I mean, it's not like you eat fridges.
Inside you, I long to be, I have got to be inside you. I really hope one of you's got that, or someone listening to this got that.
Me,
Is
I
this-
have the Infant
Forget-
Sorrow album.
Yes! Yes! Robert, sorry, mate, I'm in love with you.
I thought
I
you were
made the
singing that
decision.
to him.
If you want another wee funny story, here's a wee story for you, right? Ben made me watch Get Him to the Greek,
Oh, what
Okay.
right?
Stroke the furry wall.
But I was at him, right, okay, but we need to watch, and I want to watch Sarah Marshall again first. And he's like, why? And I was like, because Get Him to the Greek's kind of a sequel to Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And he's like, well, I've not seen that. So I'd seen the first one, but not Get Him to the Greek, and he'd seen Get Him to the Greek, but not Sarah Marshall. And he didn't realise that the side of you was supposed to be Aldous Snow. Ha ha.
I didn't know that either.
Honestly, man, Get to the Greek and Forgetting Sarah Marshall are two of the best comedy films that have been made in the last 15 years. They're both
Which is
fantastic movies. But Get to the Greek, which is the lesser known one, Pippin Forgetting Sarah Marshall, because Get to the Greek is fantastic, man.
It's just the soundtrack
Yeah.
alone for Get Him to the Greek's awesome.
And I almost didn't watch either of them because Russell Brand was in it.
Yeah. Russell Brand's
Russell
great,
Brand.
man. I think
Oh.
I think Russell Brand gets a lot of fucking really shitty, undeserved press that gives people a bad impression of him. But I think he's alright, man.
Well, he
His
used
pod-
to. Now you don't really hear much from him unless he's really outraged about something. And
Yeah.
Jesus,
He's-
fuck the botches in this match.
The Daddy Limelight match.
Yes. He's
Uh,
missed like 6 things. And no
Well-
ads, by the way, so far.
Interesting. Well, there you go. I'd say that's probably been about 10 minutes.
I'll tell you what it's been. It's been 7 minutes, 25 seconds. No ads.
I would have saw 3 ads by this point, so I chucked it.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Well, this
no
is going to be.
time cast using YouTube.
I think I might just go through other means to watch it from now on, and not use YouTube.
You can still use YouTube. You can cast it from your phone to your television.
I know I do that, and I feel like it still is the same kind of thing.
Right. Okay, then. When the robot gets paid Chromecasts for everyone.
Jesus Christ, fucking moneybags over here.
Well, it's because I went to Asda yesterday and I could not get you your mugs because they're sold out.
Oh, my mugs. I forget what mugs these are.
Well, the mug for you was going to be your housewarming present, and the mug for Chris was going to be his birthday present. Wouldn't
You
it say
fucking
cat
bag.
dad on them? But whoa, that was fucking cool though.
What was it?
He basically like 619 round the ring post and
Right.
hit Scissors takedown off the apron, and Jungle Boy went flying into the guardrail.
So I'm gonna let you in on a little thing ahead of time. I actually put Danny Limelight as one of my top 5 because of that spot.
Well, I'll forgive him for all the botches. And whoa, shit! I should really turn this off. So I'm actually getting excited.
I was gonna say, like, we'll digress and you can watch the rest of this match. Maybe on mute if you want, so you don't keep getting excited. So up next, Ashley Vox with her 0-1 record took on Tay Conte. Royce Isaacs of NWA fame and his new partner, by the looks of things, Jarrell Nelson, took on the Seidel's. Danny Jordan took on Red Velvet with her 0-1 record. After the Seidel's won their tag match, the Seidel's got interviewed and Kenny Omega walks in. He then starts sort of noising up Matt Seidel. Matt Seidel says, "Right, you know what? I'll start claiming the top 5, and I'll be seeing you soon for a title match." And then Kenny's like, "Yeah, well, we're not talking about that top 5. This is my top 5," and hands him a laptop, and it reads from the desk of Kenny Omega, the Kenny Omega top 5, and it's just all 5 of them are Nakazawa. So Kenny Omega offers Matt Sydal a second match tonight, where if he can beat Naka and then go on to beat Kenny Omega, he'll get a future title match. Next up was Darius Martin taking on Max Caster, with Max Caster getting a victory. Ray Lynn made her AEW debut. She took on Abaddon. Powerhouse Hobbs took on Brandon Cutler, with Hobbs picking up the victory there. Layla Gray, with her 0-1 record, took on Diamante. Then Dean Alexander, Carly Bravo, Brick Aldridge, and David Ali took on Private Party and Butcher and the Blade. And the start of this match had everybody but David Ali showing up with Nightmare Family jackets on.
Everybody but who? Sorry, you broke up for me there.
David Ali. So Dean Alexander, Carly Bravo, and Brick Aldridge all came out with Nightmare Family jackets. This is getting OTT.
Do you know for me what this really feels like? It feels like Tony Khan just going, "Oh, do you know what, Cody? Do what you want. I'm not going to book anyone any different."
Yeah.
It's honestly what it feels like. Because you join the Nightmare Family, or as it's the story's going just now, leave the Nightmare Family, nothing changes. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
like the Gun
Nobody
Club,
cares.
the Gun Club are still fucking in the crowd every week.
The Gun Club have appeared on Dynamite exactly 1 time to even before or after they joined the Nightmare Family. So really it goes to show that saying you're a part of the Nightmare Family, it really does not mean anything unless your second name is Rhodes and your first name is Cody.
Yeah. Because the other roads don't really fucking...
Brandy's up the duff. The probably more important Rhodes is inside her belly. And then there's Dustin, who nobody cares about anymore.
I care about Dustin, to be fair.
Well, that makes one of you.
No, I want to see fucking Dustin do well. Okay,
I mean,
actually, see talking about Dustin do well as an older veteran of the game, right? There's been a lot of talk about Mark Henry wanting to get back in the ring again, right? If Mark Henry were to go to AEW, are you guys for or against it?
Why not?
I'm fucking... See if Mark Henry is fucking lean and ready to go. Fuck, I'd love to see him in AEW.
Hey, see if Mark Henry was as good as he was during his Hall of Pain run, where he won the world title and it felt legitimate, then hell yeah, give me fucking Mark Henry for years.
That's what I was going to say. It's either Hall of Pain or no for me.
100% agree. Hall of Pain was fucking awesome. And like
Mark Henry in 2000 and I think it was 2011 was the fucking man.
Yeah, he was the shit. And it was so organic, and when he won the world title, you're just like, that's legit. Like, for a man who won like one title before that, like in his like 15-year career.
European, I believe.
Yes, you're right. And technically he didn't even win it. He was gifted it.
I was going to say, because like there was some kind of about him having that belt.
There is no more deserving person to have got that world title than Mark Henry at that point.
100%.
He earned it took him a long time, but he fucking earned it.
And then you get Tyrus fucking reading on the internet saying, Hall of Pain was mine, dear. It's like, yeah, but you suck, so shut up.
Yeah, we go back to dancing with that mad slag Cameron.
Or
not say anything bad about Naomi, because Naomi's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
To be fair, she's still doing the same gimmick though, technically.
Kinda. But
yeah, again, I'll make you feel the glow.
Your glowing cheeks.
To be fair, get to see Lana coming out in the glow in the dark gear, man, which is very, very, very. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Alluring.
Not alluring. Very complimentary to her.
Yeah. I've lost my place.
She's amazing. She's amazing. Bring it to the glow. Is that bring it to the glow?
I thought it was bring it to the floor.
I thought it was bring it to the glow.
Bring your body to the floor to start dancing was my assumption.
Ah, could be. I always thought it was bring it to the glow.
Robert, that also makes sense.
Robert, what's your opinion? Okay. We appear to have lost Robert. I'm sure he'll be back at some point. But I always thought it was bring it to the glow because he does the whole glow thing.
I mean, it makes sense. Robert's on mute, and I don't know if he realizes because he's clearly talking, but
no, because he's on.
He's chat. talking to somebody else. Okay, right, fair enough. I thought he was just talking to us and just ignoring us.
Sorry, my sister called.
That's all right.
We're discussing the Obi's theme tune. Is it bring it to the floor or bring it to the glow?
It's bring it to the floor as it is
damn it.
Rotation. Bring it to the floor.
I always thought it was bring it to the glow.
It makes sense. Like I can totally see.
You ain't never seen no one like me. You ain't never seen no one like me.
Oh my god, is that officially like going to be our theme song now? That's what we come out to if we ever do a live show, and then we all need to in unison do the running knee slide.
See when we're allowed to go to pubs again. When I go to pubs again, it has to be one in Rutherglen, and I'll speak to them, and I'll get them and drop the lights, and someone can film us doing the fucking Naomi entrance, man, just for the fucking shits and giggles of this podcast.
Look,
and I'll never live it down.
The three of us could save ourselves the humiliation and just get Div to do it.
Yeah.
Because he done it last year at my party and almost ripped the fucking knees of his trousers.
Yeah.
Fair point. Because I totally remember your party and I completely remember that happening.
To be honest,
You drank my birthday present en route.
we got lost and scared.
Which I think is the best fucking present you got all night, was the banter of us drinking your present.
Yes.
But we were lost and scared, to be fair.
Yeah. We thought we may have not made it, and we were just lost and couldn't tell it. And we were like, right, we better drink this to survive.
We need the brain
Chris,
juice.
I don't want to alarm you, but we're nearing dangerous sober levels, and we're at least 3 clicks away from the party. So drink this.
And then the Popo drove past right as we fucking were trying to ditch the bottle. Could have been a very different night for us. We may have been given the go to somebody else in a fucking jail cell. So the next match, anyway, from the desk of Kenny Omega, MT Nakazawa takes on Matt Sydal, with Matt Sydal picking up the victory. And then Kenny Omega comes in, jumps Matt Sydal, beats down both the Sydal brothers, then says to Matt Sydal, oh, well, I know we said we can have this match next week, but why don't we just have it right now? And then so he picks up Matt Sydal, hits the one-winged angel, and then Naka makes the ref count the 3. And then Tony Khan comes out looking like a goober. And he's like, no, that we're going to make this match for realsies for next week's Dynamite, which is what's going to happen. That is the Prove Yourself match, or the World Title Eliminator, whatever it's called.
I've seen a clip of this on YouTube. Tony Khan should not be on television.
No.
He bugged the shit out of me. He kept shouting 9 days from now, 9 days from now, and Dynamite, 9 days, Dynamite, 9 days, 9 days. It's as if he couldn't get the words out that he wanted to.
Yeah. Especially since this was a tape show as well. You could have easily just went, take 2.
Yep. And what happened to his statement where he said, I am not going to be an on-screen character? So you lied.
Shows up at Impact every week.
Aye, but that he's showing up on Impact. He's not showing up on AEW television until now, where he's 9 days, 9 days. And how is it an eliminator? Was Matt Sydal in the eliminator tournament?
No, I think that's just what they call it now. I think it's kind of meant to be in the same vein of like a Proving Grounds match that they do in Ring of Honor.
Right.
So
the ranking system means fuck all.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's an eliminator match purely for the fact that if Sydal wins, he would then proxy become number 1 in the rankings, therefore eliminating somebody from the top 5.
Well, tell me that.
That's just an assumption that just rolled off the top of my head. And see, even if they said that on television, I would accept that. Yep.
Yes, makes sense.
So your main event of the evening, and to be honest, I watched this match first. So as you can imagine, with the other half being in the room, and Makio coming out, and she's like, "Oh my god, why do I always have to be in the room when she comes out?" It's like, because she's the best, and I love her. So shut up.
Things you should be saying to your other half.
Yep.
You are the best, and I love you. No, this girl on television is the best, and I love her.
Yes, and you're the same age.
Don't say that.
I mean, they are.
She's the best around. Nothing is gonna keep her down. She's the best.
I don't know why, but for some really weird reason, I just thought you were going to say nothing is going to keep her down, but in Japanese. Like it's as if you were planning that. It's like, you're the best around. No,
I'm not that
very good Japanese, Griz.
Thanks.
You're learning.
Ikirino Ishiwa Ito-chan. God damn it, that's fucking nowhere close. I've listened to her theme at least about 4 times a day. every day for about the past week and a half.
I'm pretty sure it got at least 6 plays when we were driving about on Saturday.
Yeah, and I had another 6 while I was at work that Saturday as well. So I took a couple of actual notes for the main event of Riho versus Maki Ito because, as Robert kind of told us before we came on air, Maki Ito is now away back to Japan, and it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. Hopefully, this will be the last. Maki, I love you.
Oh, I don't think it will be the last because I think she's going to come back and do something with Dark Order, I think.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Anna Jay's going to be gone for a long time.
Yeah.
So, Maki locked in her Boston Crab, or Crab even, but Rio counters for a 2 roll-up. Rio hits a Northern Suplex for 2. Rio then gets a double stomp for a close 2. Rio then tries to set up for the running knee, but Ito rolls through and grabs the leg, which, again, I still very much enjoy. Rio tries again and gets some headbutt from Ito. Rio then tries yet again and gets locked in the half Boston. Rio is then locked into this horrible looking version of the crab, and horrible as in painful, because she is all bent up, she's practically kicking herself in the back of the head. Ito then goes up top, misses her diving headbutt, which gives Riho the chance to hit the running double knees, and Riho gets the victory.
Boo.
Boo, yay, boo, yay, boo, yay.
Boo, Riho. Boo, Riho. Only in this one case, because she was facing Maki, and I have basically fallen head over heels for her.
You and me both, son. As I was telling you before this, it was like, I always found Makio attractive, but like recently I think, yeah, no, this is a definite like super crush.
It's her personality that's really fucking made her go above and beyond in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. I know. She was always one of those kind of like little hidden gems in Japan. I don't care. It's one of those things that I do take that little bit of pride in, like being like, I managed to get to show you first.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me to Ito-chan.
Ito-chan. Right, so with all that being said, the top 5 for Elevation are as follows.
Before you get into that, my pals just sent me a link on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
For some words that Jim Ross has said about Andrade.
Okay.
I love JR, right? JR was the commentator when I first got into wrestling, but I really think he is Vince McMahon levels of out of touch right now. No matter what company he's fucking commentating for, he's so far out of touch. He's fucking offside. Like,
he's so far out of touch. He's in the wrong fucking arena half the time.
Yeah. So he has said regarding Andrade, the rumours of Andrade's request for his release. You damn sure don't want to ask for your release if you've not got somewhere to go, and somewhere you can establish stability and a little financial security. I don't know if he has that or if he doesn't have that. I'm not as familiar with Andrade's work as a lot of guys are because I don't watch very much WWE TV. Okay, fine, don't watch it. So you should be shouldn't be fucking putting your words in on fucking someone else's fucking career move if you don't fucking watch them. Little surprised that Andrade's asked for release, but unless you've got a good long-range plan in place, it's probably not the smartest thing to do. If it's an act of defiance or an act of I'm angry or I'm disappointed, then that's not the right reason to ask for your release, especially if you don't have somewhere to go, so I don't know where he would go. To me, it recognises WWE is keenly aware of AEW and that we're not the pissant company that Triple H said we were going to be in the beginning. So I don't know. If I were him, I'd hope he's thought it out. Right now, the most significant thing in his career is the fact he's dating and lives with Charlotte Flair.
Jim Ross, I like you, but you do not know your arse from your elbow at this point.
Yep. What
Because
fucking...
there's already fucking folk out with that when Andrade sort of made the announcement that he's asked for his release and that. Folk have already thought of scenarios for him to fit in to most places.
Mhm.
For example, just now in New Japan, Kota Ibushi is threatening to unify the heavyweight and IC belts.
Uh-huh.
Right, Naito challenged him at Castle Attack for only the IC to prevent him from doing it.
To
He
save
failed.
it. Uh-huh.
He failed. Another former IWGP Intercontinental Champion, La Sombra.
I wonder who La Sombra is. I've not seen that guy in a while.
Folk are already like that. Well, he could go and challenge and take it off him.
What a noble concept.
It's
Also, just the kind of way that he's like, this guy doesn't have any plans. It's like, well,
but then he brings AEW into it, and it's like,
Yeah.
so basically this was just a really shitty way for you to talk about the company you work for, and obviously that's not a dig at AEW. That's just a dig at JR's complete lack of understanding of the modern fucking wrestling landscape. He's fucking very much in the Vince McMahon category of he still lives in the land of the giants.
Yeah, because folk make a very good living just off the indies when the indies
start up again.
are back up again. Before Corona, folk were literally making probably more money on the indies than what they were with WWE.
Look at
I'm sure Cody said he was doing that.
yeah. Look at Thea Trinidad. Like when she got released, like, and she then started throwing back all those things out that WWE told her not to do, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm getting paid roughly about the same, sometimes potentially more than what WWE was even paying me. I'm fucking fine."
Yeah, through our Twitch and our Only fans.
Yeah, people will pay $500 for a bit of side boob.
Or a picture of her big toe.
Well, there's people that are into that.
That's definitely not Griz.
But it's just that whole thing of like, right, when you're a representative of a company and you're then shitting on this guy for being like, oh, I hope he has a plan, and it's like, do you seriously think Tony Khan isn't going to fucking sit down with Andrade and speak to him about coming in, considering he is one of the, one of the better WWE wrestlers?
It's the fact that Jim Ross basically alluded to Andrade's only had the push he's got because he's banging Charlotte Flair,
Which is completely incorrect.
He was getting that push before he was banging Charlotte Flair.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
yeah,
only
because
when
he's
he
getting
started
nothing
getting out with
now.
Charlotte Flair that his push has stopped.
Yeah, exactly. Like him, Zelina Vega and fucking Angel Garza pretty much held down Raw during that period where Raw had practically nobody. And this is the thanks that he gets. Like, oh, this is the thanks that all three of them get. Fucking Zelina gets fucking shit canned. Andrade is told to sit in catering until his contract runs out, and Angel Garza has now just become the resident jobber to Damian Priest.
Angel Garza's, as far as I'm aware, I might be wrong, but I don't think Angel Garza's been on Raw for months.
He was on it like 2 weeks ago in a squash match against Damian Priest. But yeah, other than that, like, he's not been seen. Like, it's been very sporadic.
Actually, I never watched it all 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago I didn't watch, but yeah, like he done that whole fucking Rose thing backstage, which looked like it was going somewhere and then just kind of stopped.
I thought it was.
I fully believe it was leading towards Eva Marie, and I think
That's what I was going to say. That was supposed to be Eva Marie's return, I think.
I know, and it breaks my goddamn heart.
What, that she's coming back?
Sorry, I realised
I think him and Eva Marie would actually have been quite good together.
I realized I put myself on mute halfway through that sentence. It breaks my goddamn heart and penis.
Right, okay, so she's not coming back then.
Yes.
But I think having putting the two of them together would have been a really fucking good heel duo to have, because fans are going to like Angel Garza for anyway, and then putting with Eva Marie, that's just even more heat. That would actually probably propel Angel Garza to a US title run or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, I think they would have worked so well together.
She's a firestorm, no pun intended, and not the robot. Because red flames. But like, yeah, she's a heat magnet, and Andrade was already doing decent on his own. But yeah, exactly, the combination of the two of them would have been quite impeccable. But no.
You mean Angel Garza, not Andrade?
Yeah, that one. Sorry.
because looking at this, in my opinion, back in 2016, Eva Marie was the biggest heel on fucking SmackDown without competing in a fucking match.
She got more heat when her fucking shirt fell off in that one match that didn't happen.
And I think all the matches were supposed to be against Becky Lynch.
Yeah. I know, because it was that thing where just every week, like, we're like, okay, there's no excuse this time. Like, Becky's got to slaughter her, and it just never happened. And then literally never happened, because then didn't Eva Marie get injured or something, and then she just never came back?
She was, they suspended her for violating the wellness policy.
That was it.
But basically, what had happened was she was prescribed something by the doctor and didn't get the paperwork in on time.
The old Rey Mysterio. And then when he provided the paperwork, they're like, well, we've suspended you now, so you're going to need to sit out. And it's like,
Yeah.
here's the paperwork. We'll just add that to the end of your contract. But I want to leave. Yeah, but you know. So we've, I mean, that was a very good talking point, but we will quickly finish Elevation with the top five. Daniel Limelight I went for, purely because of that amazing spot with the 619 into the Rana around the ring post. Ashley Fox, I picked for giving another good showing, and considering we kind of brought her up recently when we were talking about Impact, it goes to show that she's still probably one of these kind of lesser known women's wrestlers that can go pretty well. And maybe with the NWA coming back this Sunday,
Saturday.
No, Sunday.
Is that Sunday again?
Yeah, it's before Fastlane.
Fuck you.
Which now leads me into the other question: will any of you be watching NWA?
I'll maybe give it a try, but I won't be watching it live. I'll be watching it when I get a minute.
Well, let me know when that minute is. Maybe we can talk about it. If not, then I can. I'm
also
trying.
I've got a question as well.
Go on.
NWA Power's returning next week, and it's going to be on Fight. Is it free?
That's the $1 million question right here.
Because they've not said. They've just told us it's going to be on Fight.
Mm-hmm.
But they've not said whether it's going to be free to watch or you need to get like an NWA subscription.
It'd be nice if they included it with the AEW subscription.
Yeah, because they're kind of in bed together.
Because like I'm quite happy. Like honestly, man, like, I'll be honest with you, right? I don't pay the £5 for the £5 a month for the AEW pass.
I do.
And the only reason I don't pay it is because the Fight app doesn't work on my Fire Stick. See, if it worked on my Fire Stick, I'd pay a £5 a month for it. No problem. No issue whatsoever. But if it's not working, then kind of can't justify it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. What's the point paying for something that you're not going to get? Number 3 was Danny Jordan, who I still love the gimmick. Her gimmick is she is the mean girl, and she comes out with the burn book. And I really feel like if you hire her and you can push her with the burn book, and then she starts racking up victories, and then like every week she like she has a match, then like when she defeats an opponent, maybe she takes a photo of them and like one of those old style Polaroids, and then like they do a bit. Maybe they could do it on like Being the Elite or something for something like that, where it's like she's putting the photo in the book and then writing all the nasty comments around them, and then like every week like the burn book is filling up more and more, and like there's ways that you can go with that.
I like that idea.
I mean, it's like the burn book right now is just a prop, so why not turn that prop into a proper gimmick and just give her all these little additional bits to a character? Like, she's got most of it there, and as I says, considering if you had seen her maybe, I think it was maybe the middle of last year, or whenever her first match was, she has completely changed her body. Like, she was not I'm saying a pure massive girl, but she was a bigger girl, and it clearly goes to show that she has put the work in and has really completely changed her look. So, I mean, that's like the first thing that you notice is like the amount of work that she's put into this is something. Next, I picked Ray Lynn, who made her debut against Abaddon. She's done as well as anyone could against Abaddon while still losing. But, you know, I've seen her in Japan before, so she kind of gets that wee bit of bias from, as I must admit. But Ray Lynn, she's a pretty good egg, one to watch. And number 5 was Layla Gray. Another decent showing from her, considering the fact that during this match, we found out that she has been wrestling for 5 months. Looking that good after about 5 months is it's quite
accomplished.
Quite impressive, yeah, quite. But that is your AEW Elevation top 5. Now let's move on to AEW Dark. So once again, we were discussing before this that we thought that the whole reason that they were doing Dark Elevation and Dark was to kind of make both shows a bit shorter. Well, no, because Elevation was 2 hours and Dark was 1:45 this week.
No, to be fair, they are kind of just breaking it into two. Anyway, not the point. Talk. Continue. Let's get through this as quickly as possible, because I've realised we spent fucking 50 minutes talking about Dark Elevation and other shit.
It was that good. So AEW Dark this week started with Cesar Bononi taking on Luchasaurus, with Luchasaurus getting the victory there.
I've seen that gif.
This kind of stemmed from the night before, where they were attacking Marco Stunt after his match. What gif was it you were talking about?
Cesar Bononi not knowing what the fuck to do. Basically running in circles, and Luchasaurus basically going, "No, run towards the ropes and come back."
Oh dear.
Oof.
At one point, Cesar Bononi was voted the biggest up-and-comer in NXT. Fun fact.
In NXT?
In NXT, yeah.
Fucking hell.
So Savannah Evans took on Layla Hirsch with her 0-1 record. John Skyler took on John Silver with his 0-2 record. Yeah, try saying those two names fast. John Skyler, John Silver, John Skyler, John Silver, John Skyler, John Skyler. Oh, fuck. There you go. Sasha Price with her 0-4 records took on Penelope Ford. Fuego del Sol and Jake St. Patrick with their 0-0 tag records took on the creepy, the kooky, the altogether ooky Chaos Project, because when the match graphic came up, Excalibur said that and it cracked Taz up just during the match, the graphic, and to the point that it threw off Excalibur.
Do you know what I need from AEW? I need a weekly video of the Excalibur and Taz commentary from Dark, but just their best bits.
That would be great.
That's what I want.
Because during this match, Taz just said something about how Luther was a big flatulence guy.
A big farty guy.
Yeah, apparently. He must just fart a lot. Jasmine Allure with the 0-1 record took on Kylan King. Angel Fashion, Baron Black, Ryzen, and Vari Morales took on Dark Order's Uno, Grayson, 5, and Colt Cabana. David Ali and Adam Priest and Seth Gargis took on the Gun Club. Dean Alexander and Brick Aldridge with their 0-0 record took on Bear Country. D3 with his 0-3 record took on Nick Comorado. Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs with their 0-1 record took on the Varsity Blondes. Vert Vixen and Maddie Rankowski went at it in a Thunder Rosa Students Showcase match. Cali Bravo and Aaron Solo took on SCU. Once again with the big fucking Nightmare Family Titantron and all that hoopla. Ricky Starks and Brian Cage took on Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. And your main event was Jack Evans versus 10. So just a quick few notes from the last couple of matches. Joey Janela wears a horrendous looking singlet now.
Yeah, I seen that last week. I wasn't impressed.
Team Taz get the victory in this match, and then Joey Janela starts screaming at Sonny Kiss, and then just stops and just goes, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then just starts hugging Sonny Kiss as if that was no thing. So it seems as if we're looking at the potential breakup of the Concrete Rose and the Bad Boy.
Yay!
And the ending of the Evans versus 10 match, 10's face was leaking of blood. And for the life of me, I couldn't find the spot where it happened. But 10 makes Evans tap out with the heart lock or the Phil Nelson. And just this massive red patch just around like his face area of his white mask was just stained red. And then he's doing the Dark Order pose and you just see blood just spewing out of his face, like on his chest and everything. But I could not find the spot of where this happened.
I imagine that because 10 is a massive fucking cokehead, he just gets the nosebleeds.
By the by, when you said the hurt lock there, it reminded me of something that I just want to throw out there. If anyone is not buying Bobby Lashley as WWE champion, which I said earlier I wasn't really that into. It's not that I'm not into it, it's just I'd rather see Drew versus The Miz because I think that's a better story. But anyway, check out Bobby Lashley on King de Fun, a wrestling podcast, which is done by
Ben Kissel.
Ben Kissel, who's a podcaster that me and Griz have met before. And at the time we met him, he wasn't doing a wrestling podcast, but I had a WrestleMania t-shirt on, and he came over.
He wasn't really
hey.
Really watching wrestling at the time, but he was like, I don't really watch it anymore, but I still love it. I just don't have the time.
Anyway, he does now, and he had Bobby Lashley on his episode 2 weeks ago. But I listened to it during the week, and it's a fantastic interview. And if you really want to understand how much being WWE champion means to Bobby Lashley, give it a listen. I highly recommend it.
Okay. It gives me something to do tomorrow.
And actually, how funny Bobby Lashley is, because when he won the title, the first thing that Katie, the co-host on it, said was, "Bobby Lashley beat The Miz and my eyes rolled." And then the next week, Bobby Lashley was a guest on it, and he pulled her up for it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my God, I feel so bad." But yeah, it's a really fun interview, and you should listen to it. And it really fucking humanises Bobby Lashley for people that are not humanised to him, if that makes sense.
That's good. I may give you a little more of appreciation for him.
Oh, it totally does. It did for me anyway. Like,
yeah, I will report back on our Fastlane episode. So I'm going to go newest award for the. Not there. Yep, my camera has just died mid-stream, so that's fun.
everything's died. Robert's back now. You're kind of back. I can kind of see an outline, but not.
Yeah. I think Skype just shit itself there for a second.
I think what you need to do is purchase a fucking £10 webcam.
Yeah.
Clip it onto the top of your laptop and not use your laptop webcam anymore.
Yeah, agreed. I'll look into it.
Take me a favour. To be honest, his laptop's doing us a favour.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks. So I am going to unveil the first ever the Horse Meat Hamburger Award, which is a negative award, in case you couldn't tell.
Why horse meat is fucking fantastic.
I love their lasagnas.
Ooh.
Horse meat is wonderful. See if you ever went to the Mongolian restaurant in the Merchant City in Glasgow. I can't remember what it was called.
Kublai Khan.
Kublai Khans. You get horse meat fucking sliders as a starter, and they were dynamite.
They closed to rebrand a few years ago and never opened up again.
I think it opened up as a pizza place or something.
I don't think that was them, though.
No,
I don't think it was.
That's where Ben and I used to go for our anniversary every year, was Kublai Khan's.
I loved that place. So goddamn much.
I took a girl there on a date, and she insisted in getting the bug platter, which I didn't really want, because she had a Wayne, and she's like, "Oh, my Wayne will fucking think this is hilarious." So we ordered the bug platter. And then she started fucking selfieing herself eating it in the middle of a restaurant, and people were just looking at us, and I'm like, I very, very, very much underestimated this date, man. It was not good. So basically, the story is, I took her up the road, pumped her, never spoke to her again. Purely based on.
That's
trying to take her out for a nice meal, and there she is trying to do the fucking Bush Tucker trials.
Exactly. So I took her up the road, made her eat some testicles, and then that was done.
Oh.
Round of applause, Mr. Hughes. Round of applause.
Thank you. I'm here all week. Literally, because it's going to work.
Yeah, thank fuck the rest of us aren't. Okay, so... Well, yeah, I called it the Horse Meat Burger Award because obviously there was that whole stink about Tesco making burgers that apparently had horse meat in them. So it caused a stink. So there you go. So I'm giving the first ever Horse Meat Burger Award to Savannah Evans, who had a horrendous look and was not great in her match either. Her kind of wrestling gear just essentially looked like she was just going to the gym, except her surname was kind of plastered on her butt. And as I say, she also wasn't great in the match, but she has tall, so I guess there's that. But to be honest, she was also wrestling Layla Hirsch, so to be honest, anybody looks tall face to face with Layla Hirsch.
Oh, speaking of, congratulations, newest AEW roster member, Layla Hirsch.
Layla Hirsch is all elite.
And she's legit.
She is legit. Now, Taz, now you can hire her.
Yes.
So the top five for Dark are Fuego del Sol, who once again hit his spinning DDT, and this time would have got the victory if Serve Pentico didn't break up the pin. D3, who brought the fight in his match, and arguably looked the best that he ever looked in AEW when he took on Nick Comoroto. Nelson and Isaacs looked amazing in their match, even getting a few close near falls on the Varsity Blondes. And they had matching gear, which was a good start because it makes them look like a proper tag team. Vert Vixen, who came out with all the wah, wah, wah kind of like poses during her entrance, which amused me. Plus, she done pretty good, even though she lost to Mario Rankowski. And Bravo and Solo were the last of the top five, who had a pretty long match with SCU and actually like put in a pretty good shift. So props to them. And if Impact didn't kind of run with AEW, I would say, why don't we just do Dynamite and get out of the way? But I feel like doing Impact first is probably appropriate right now. So we'll move on to that. The past 2 weeks, I have completely forgotten to watch the BTI pre-show match, so sorry for that one. Maybe I'll give a quick rundown next week of the two matches that we missed, because we may have missed something special. You never know.
I think one of the matches for BTI was Taurus versus Leicester.
So
Leicester.
Leicester.
I am so glad I muted the microphone and I went to get a beer there, because something embarrassing just happened to me. I'm going to tell you.
You shit yourself.
At it. Nope.
You farted.
Nope. Went to the living room to pour my pint. Little did I know, the little Thundercat known as Fergal had followed me in and sat right behind my heels, and I poured my pint and I took half a step back in order to turn round and fucking fell straight on my arse, man. I literally fell over my cat.
God damn it.
I was like, I was contemplating whether or not I was going to admit to it, but it was kind of funny, so I feel like I have to.
Did you drop your pint?
No, because I hadn't actually properly picked it up yet. My fingers were just on it. So I'd step back to like turn round, and because he was literally at my fucking heels, because I had shoes on, I didn't feel him there, and I fucking tripped over him.
Get that wee bastard a bell.
Hey,
I wouldn't have heard it anyway.
this.
I wouldn't have heard it because I've got the fucking headphones on listening to you two. See, if he had a bell, it would not accomplish anything.
Probably.
So now he's like kind of hiding in the corner, thinking he's done something wrong.
Well, he kind of has. He almost killed you.
It wasn't his fault though; it was my fault for not checking if he was behind me before I stepped back.
Yeah, well.
You done the job for a cat.
The worst thing is, I've got a bit of a fucking sore arse now, and I'm going to have to go a cycle tomorrow, so I'm definitely going to have a sore arse tomorrow night.
Oh, fucking man up.
Not to mention how my neighbours are probably going to feel the fact that the fucking 14 stone man, I wish I was 14 stone, crashed down on his arse.
There's no a Chris Hughes indent in their ceiling.
Just looks like fucking Roadrunner or something.
Aye, totally, man. Fergal, I love you, but you're a dick. Anyway, sorry. I felt the world should know that.
Well, we appreciate your honesty. Right, so Impact Wrestling this week saw the start of the show open with Finjuice taking on Triple XL. So the new tag team champions managed to squeak out a victory with the ending match happening with Finlay hitting a back elbow on Larry D. But as Finn makes the cover, AC Romero comes in and break up the count, but crushes his own partner with a senton. Then there's a double drop kick from Finjuice that takes out AC, and then a double flapjack on Larry. And so as Finlay hits the acid drop in the ring, just dives out of the ring onto Romero to keep him at bay. 1, 2, 3, and Finlay gets the victory. So
now I know what it is. Mind, we couldn't remember what Deonna's finisher for the Pile Driver was called, and I called it the Prima Noctra. That's what just calls his. That's what Finlay calls his acid drops, the Prima Noctra.
Yeah, it's one of those other like Italian words that for Deonna's finisher.
It's Cosa Nostra.
Cosa Nostra. I think I was close to that.
We figured it out when we watched Sacrifice.
So after the match, the Good Brothers come out. Anderson says that they're all really busy, being on Impact, being tag team champions, being on Dynamite. I've got 4 kids and a hot Asian wife, and the match of the pay-per-view shouldn't have counted. Then Gallows says, look, I had jet lag. I had to fly all the way from Atlanta to Tennessee for that match. And I'm going to assume that's probably not a very long flight.
I think they're only like 1 or 2 states over.
So it probably would have taken maybe about half an hour.
Basically, it would have been longer in the airport going through security than what it would take for him to drive there.
Can't help but wonder what's the point.
I think that's the joke.
Yeah, maybe. So they want their rematch, and Finlay says, "Oh yeah, well you'll get your rematch. You just need to wait until we come back in April because we've got some New Japan to do."
Yeah, both Finlay and Juice are in the New Japan Cup this year.
Well, not anymore, but that's it. Things.
Not anymore, yes, as both were eliminated in like the first round.
Have you seen any of it yet?
Not yet. I'm working my way up to it. I'm just finished Castle Attack, so I've got the anniversary show to watch, and the main event of that is Kota Ibushi versus El Despe, which I'm very much looking forward to.
I just want to see if they show up with the belts. That's the only thing I want to know.
I'll let you know.
So after this, Sammy glitches in. He says that Trey confuses anger with passion. Trey doesn't have what it takes to get the job done, and Sammy will essentially show him passion tonight. And then the kind of promo ends with him just going passion, 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 passion. Scott Demers backstage, and then the Good Brothers barge in. So Scotty says that the tag team titles will be defended at Rebellion when Finn just return, and pretty much just kind of sort of berates them for well, you've lost the belts. Do you really think that I wanted this for my company to have the tag team titles not on the show for the next month? So Dreamer comes in. He was also kind of not happy about this. And then Scott says, oh, well, it's difficult to book all these shows. If you really think that you're so good at it, why don't you book the next Impact Wrestling or Impact Plus wrestling show, which is Hardcore Justice? That's right up your street. So why don't you book Hardcore Justice? And Dreamer goes, well, I've already did. And he just pulls out a wee bit of paper and just hands it to Scott Demore. And Scott's like, wow, this actually looks really good. And then Tommy's just like, yeah, especially that one. And so, yeah, it looks like Tommy Dreamer is booking Hardcore Justice.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if it's going to be kind of ECW-esque again, or if there's going to be a couple of surprises, or if it's just going to be kind of current. I guess we'll kind of see how this kind of goes over the next couple of weeks. Rhino takes on Jake Something, which kind of boiled down to Violent by Design starting a fight at ringside with Storm and Sabin, that accompanied Jake Something to the ring, giving Rhino the chance to hit the gore. And then Violent by Design continued the beat down on all three. So after that backstage, Caleb with a K and Tenille Dashwood are there, and they're talking about the team name for their big 6-on-6 tag match tonight. So they were thinking Tenille Dashwood and the Followers, which obviously nobody else likes. So Deanna, being the champion, she starts to say, no, well, I should be the leader because, well, I'm the champion. And then Hogan and Steele's like, no, well, we've got 2 belts, so we should be the leaders. And then they all eventually come around to the point where they're like, well, I think we could all get on board with just beating up the other team. So then they're all like, yeah, let's do that. And so as they walk away, Susan just screams, Team Justice!
Yeah.
Team Justice?
Why not? Team Hard Justice. Yes, you know.
Or Hardcore Justice. Was a bit distracted during this match, but Rohit Raju took on Shira, and the ending came with Rohit using the ropes to steal a victory from Shira. So
that reunion didn't last long, did it?
yeah, and also it kind of doesn't matter how big you are. Sometimes brains does conquer bronze.
Especially when you're a mocha skin manimal.
Don't tell Shane McMahon that, though, to be fair.
Oh no, he just uses slime.
Slime defeats bronze, or just brawn. Apparently, that match has been taken off the card for Sunday.
I'm amazed it was just announced, like, oh yeah, they're going to do it Sunday. It's clearly going to be a WrestleMania match. Like,
Yeah.
why was it just randomly announced for Sunday and then, like, that... When I seen that it was announced, I was like, well, that's strange. It's like, that should be dragged out all the way to Mania. And it should be something... It should be a cage match or something like that. Mm-hmm. Because Shane's so fucking arrogant to let himself get... Basically to get himself in that situation. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, we don't talk about main roster here that often, but...
I'm not saying you're stupid. Braun, it's not that you're stupid. That was a reference to literally one of Shane McMahon's promos a couple of weeks ago. I generally think something must have happened where he just forgot what he was meant to do or meant to say. So he just breathed really weirdly into the microphone for about 2 straight minutes.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm into this fucking Shane versus Braun thing, and it really annoys me because I think Braun is so good, but he keeps getting these shitey fucking WrestleMania matches.
I know.
Constantly, man. Like last year, I was like, oh, well, last year you got Goldberg, yeah, only because fucking Roman wasn't doing it.
Exactly, you weren't going to be on the card this year.
Yeah, it's a shame, but it is what it is.
I know. I mean, hopefully this might actually be half decent when the actual match happens, and so we can at least maybe take that away, saying it's not the best angle in the world, but at least the match was good. But you know, time will tell, and that is a discussion we can have about this match at a later date when we look at WrestleMania in about 4 weeks, is it?
3.
Well, there you go. So backstage, Willie Mack showed up for what seemed like the first time in forever to congratulate Rich Swann on being the double champion. And it says, "Oh well, it's time to party. Let's go out and we'll get absolutely mortaled." It goes to show how much Geordie Shore is being played in this house that I would say that.
You used it wrong.
Did I? Yeah,
it's just get mortal.
Good. I'm glad that I said it wrong. But Swan says, "Yeah, now's not the time. I've got some business." So Swan comes out. He then starts talking about his match with Kenny, and then Don Callis and his weird ass fucking theme music come out. And the one part I did enjoy about this is Don Callis' Titantron has like little puppet fingers.
Because he's the invisible hand.
Exactly, yeah. It works really well. So Callis starts talking about all the things he's done for Swan, keeping him paid when he got injured, how Don was pushing for Swan to be in the BSG main event. And then he starts talking about, I remember when I bought my first car, when I got my first wrestling paycheck, and it was some kind of semi-shitty car. Then he seen somebody with a better car, and he was told, oh, well, there'll always be somebody better. And then that's how Don equated Rich Swann to Kenny Omega. And it's like, well, I had you, but now I've kind of moved up. And I've got Kenny Omega now. And then he starts to riffle off of like how every time Kenny Omega has won, like the big one, Don Callis was always there. The first time that Kenny Omega pinned Okada, the first time that he beat John Moxley for the belt. So then he kind of ends the promo with saying that I've already written your rebellion. Are we back?
You cut off, but I think you're back now.
Yeah. Skip just kind of shout out there again. I'll just take the line again anyway. So Don says that he's already written Swann's history at Rebellion. And then Swann just kind of accepted it, essentially. So backstage, Eddie Edwards, Cardona, and Myers were all there. Cardona just kind of says to Myers, like, right, then can we just stop this kind of arguing that we have? And Myers was like, no, like, Impact is my place, like, and I just want you to get lost. So I don't know, is this going to become like a proper feud between these two now? What do you reckon?
Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to it, actually, because the two of them are best mates, so obviously the two of them are going to do their fucking damnedest to get each other over.
Yeah.
So it should be a very good match.
So we'll move on to the 6-on-6 women's knockout match with Tenille Dashwood and her followers, Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steelz, Deonna Purrazzo, Kimber Lee, and Susan, taking on Jazz, John Grace, ODB, Lish, Havoc, and Nevaeh. And the match kind of broke out into a schmoz early on, everybody hitting moves on the opponents, one after the other, kind of a la, Survivor Series style elimination matches. Massive schmoz on the outside, and Steelz and Grace are in the ring fighting each other. Then both of them just kind of decide to, at the same time, turn around, bounce off the ropes, and dive at the ring on top of everybody. And then the ending came with Jazz managing to tap out Kimber Lee with the STF. This was a lot of people in that tiny little arena.
I thought Alicia was really good in this. Stunner was really cool.
I know. Do you think maybe she's had some kind of like training? And I don't mean that in a pure dickish way, but like.
Well, let's face it, she could be doing it.
Well,
there was an Ace Austin interview after this where he starts talking about TJP beating him in his debut. This all kind of brings in Chris Bay, Josh Alexander, and TJP, and I don't know, I kind of feel like this looks like it may be heading the four-way route where Ace may be defending the title against everybody. Kind of all of his ghosts of wrestling past are coming back for him.
It was just announced within the hour that Ace Austin is defending the X Division title next week against TJP.
Well, that's probably going to be the rematch, yeah. But we've definitely got other challengers waiting in the wings then, by the looks of things.
I wouldn't mind seeing an Ultimate X match.
Oh God, please. When the fuck was the last time we had Ultimate X?
I'm pretty sure it was that Soldier show.
Yeah, the WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
Ultimate X, I am so up for that.
Yeah.
Sign me up right now. I'll even do the
Ultimate
match.
X with
Fuck it,
all
man.
of them.
Ultimate X.
I'll even do it. If they need people to do it, I'll do it.
I'll do it. Or the Turning Heel Championship. So this brings us to the main event where Sami Callihan took on Trey Miguel. One of the really cool spots in this match was when Sami Callihan had a Boston Crab in the corner with Trey just completely tied up in the turnbuckles. And then Sami sets Trey up on the barricade on the outside. So as Sami goes to run at Trey, Trey runs up the stairs, bounces off the bottom rope, and then hits the stunner on the outside. Trey then tries to follow up, but Sami then puts Trey into the steps. And to end the match, Trey was up top, but Sami kind of pulls the referee in the way, which gives him enough time to get up and sweep the legs, allowing Sami to pick Trey off the top rope and hits fucking just had a stroke. Package pile driver for the victory.
It's only the beginning.
Yes. Death is only the beginning. What was that tagline for? Evil Dead?
I thought it was the Mummy.
Maybe it was.
The Mummy.
Because I'm pretty sure that's the translation on the Book of the Dead.
I just thought, Dead, books, Necronomicon.
Well, the Book of the Dead and the Mummy's technically like a Necronomicon that brings back a certain mummy.
Mummy, I need you. So we move on to there. I just completely skipped the Tony and Tony commercial segment this week. Was there anything of note there at all?
Not really. They were just promoting St. Patrick's Day Slam, and they were wearing hats and pish.
It does sound like pish.
It was pish.
I actually quite like the Tony and Tony segments.
Just
I think
every week.
I think it's a nice wee touch, considering, especially what they're doing now, where it's like, oh yeah, the master plan's in place. We're getting an AEW title defense on Impact, and they're like, yeah, but we are just poaching viewers off you.
Yeah, well, speaking of the St. Paddy's Day Slam, we will move on to it. Okay, so the first match was Penta El Zero Miedo taking on Cody Rhodes. So the first question that I have before we get into the match was, did Cody always have the sort of pink sort of dust in his Cantron before the announcement of his kid, or is that like a new thing?
That's a new thing.
Yeesh. Really just forcing that in, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, it's not going to get any better from there. Penta starts the match by diving out on Cody while he was making his entrance. There was a barricade set up on the outside with Cody sending Penta into it with a dive. Penta gets hit with two Cody cutters at a crossroads and still kicks out. And I was thinking, oh my god, fucking Penta looking like an absolute badass here. Cody then hits the Cop Killer, which Penta kicks out of again. And then the end of this match comes with Penta snapping the injured arm of Cody. And then Cody just rolls up fucking Penta, 1, 2, 3, and then that's fucking it.
That pissed me off.
Before we get into it, I wanted thinking my last note of saying if my laptop was a piece of paper, I would be crumbling it up in anger right now. Like, hold on. Dear Mr. Cody, this is how I feel about the way that you are booking yourself these days.
Anyone that watched Lucha Underground, and I know I keep going on about Lucha Underground, but anybody that watched Lucha Underground knows when that happens to you from Penta, you're out for months.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't ever come back.
Correct. When you do it to a wrestler with an already injured shoulder, that should have been fucking game over, match stopped.
Yep. As soon as that hit, referee should have called the bell. That would have made Penta look like the fucking shit. That way, Penta would have got a victory over Cody without having to pin him. And then Cody, hi, Stinkies. Fucking just turn around and tackle sitting on the chair next to me. Like as if he wants to be part of this.
Fergal's sitting in the doorway looking at me as if he wants to eat my face. I'm trying to get him to come over playfully. And he's just looking at me going, nah, you basically stepped on me, you dick.
If I did step on you, you'd be dead.
Yeah, well, I more or less did step on him, but I fell over him.
This match I thought this match was good until the finish.
Oh,
yeah.
That just completely ruined it for me. But do you know what my favourite part of this whole Penta Cody bit is? Alex Abrahantes going, Penta sis. And the smug look in his face. This is quickly becoming one of my new favourite things now in AEW.
Yeah, it's very Del Rio, Ricardo Rodriguez-esque, but kind of completely different.
Yeah.
And I agree, like that that announcer dude is running with this.
It's the most TV time he's had since Dynamite started.
I know, and he's doing well, and hopefully this is just going to be a thing from now on.
Yeah, I think it will be because, as I said last week, Cody's got Tony Schiavone, so Penta will have Alex Abrahantes.
And one day I will learn how to say his name.
If you just keep watching Being the Elite, you'll learn it like that because he's all over it.
Yeah, but as we kind of alluded to, the ending of this match was there's a different right. So he gets him into like a kind of sunset flip, and he doesn't even have his legs over both of Penta's arms, and then he's holding him down with the arms. You know, one of them that's already injured, and then gets hit with the essential arm breaker.
Fuck him.
And like why? Like, see if he maybe got a schoolboy off of like using the other arm or something. I would say maybe I probably would still complain. Don't get me wrong, but it would probably be a better ending than this. I thought like just it was more specifically the pin that he got, where he's using the leverage of his arms to hold down Penta for the 3. That just was like, are you fucking serious? After like literally what he just done to you, and it's just pop up, boom, there you go, fucking, I win because I'm Cody, I'm the best.
Nah. I already didn't like Cody just now anyway, but this has really fucking cemented it for me.
Yeah. I was so angry.
I think personally say from now on, see if Cody Rhodes is in a match, I'm skipping it.
I drew something right. I'm going to put this theory out there.
Okay.
I think fucking Cody wants to be Trips.
Yep. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I said he's became what he was against. If you remember back at Double or Nothing,
you did say that.
Yes. You're right.
He's the throne breaker. He's this. Oh no, I'm taking myself out the title picture, but yet you're still putting yourself over everyone. No.
The fact is, Cody should, in theory, be the number one ranked contender based on how often he wins. And just because he's went, oh, I want to take myself, I can't challenge for the title, that doesn't make it any less fucking annoying. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
If anything, it makes it more annoying.
Yeah. Because, I mean, again, it's always kind of back to that whole thing that I always say, like, if you can't go for the belt, why are you in the fucking rankings?
I had a thought about this. It was when MJF was out later on.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cody's going to win the belt from MJF since it was him that cost him it.
Okay.
I think that's how Cody will win the EW Championship.
Eesh.
By putting himself over another young up-and-coming talent.
Nah, I think the next champion is going to be a super babyface champion that says that he wants to challenge whoever deserves it. He's going to say Cody deserves it, and I know the deal was he couldn't challenge for it, but I'm challenging him for it. And I think that's how Cody gets the belt.
So you're telling me that Adam Page is going to challenge Cody?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Potentially, yeah.
So, bollocks.
Or Omega might do it just to fucking continue to be this pure arsey character he is. And be like, I don't care what deals you made in the past. That's alright, I'll beat you.
Nah. This new Kenny doesn't really want credible challengers.
No.
It basically goes against everything that he's been sort of doing the last couple of months.
No, but the challenger can still be credible without Kenny playing him as credible. Because he'd be like, oh yeah, you've not came for this, you can't handle it, so yeah, I'll challenge you next. Oh, I can't do it because I had this stipulation where I can't challenge. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm overriding that. Come on. Me and the boys will be there. Aye.
I'm the champion and I can do what I want.
Yep.
So Penta then jumps Cody immediately, and then the Nightmare Family come out for the save. And then literally about 5 minutes later, QT Marshall walks out being like, where did you go? And then everyone's like, no, where were you? And QT's like, I don't fucking care anymore. That's where I was.
QT Marshall is the same place the rest of us are.
Yeah, I'm sick of this bullshit. So Marvez is backstage with the Bucks. And this did not help either. Because then Matt starts dickishly talking about how, ooh, Phoenix, you beat us both in singles matches. Well, these are tag team championships. And it's like, he still fucking beat yous. Like, and you're trying to get that as your, like, little way out. I thought yous were also meant to be super baby faces. And so you're acting like more of a heel than the fucking, the Death Triangle are. And I know like Death Triangle are kind of faces, but they're also kind of...
But they're not, man. I hate the whole Death Triangle booking just now because Phoenix and Neville are faces, but Penta, based on his match with Corey, isn't. Sorry, not Neville.
I think
Pat,
Death Triangle sort of they operate in their own rules.
But
so basically, it's like they're not good, they're not bad. They just do what. Well,
they are ugly.
They'll do a bit sort of affects them positively.
That's fine, but I think all three of them should be on board with that, because see right now, right, they're still being booked as Death Triangle. Fucking Phoenix was doing the whole triangle thing this week and all that, but there has been
That's his pose.
That's just kind of his thing, yeah.
That's Animo.
But there has been no fucking link to Penta being involved in them just now. Penta's basically been booked as completely separate from them, which is stupid. It is unbelievably stupid when you're trying to say that they're a faction.
I get what you're saying with that.
Death Triangle doesn't work with two people.
I actually do get what you're saying with that. Like, the way that they're being booked so differently, it almost seems like Penta isn't in the faction with the way that he's going up doing his own thing.
It's not, because they don't mention him at any point. Mm-hmm. When Pac and Phoenix are out, they do not mention him.
Yeah, like the only thing that they kind of have as any kind of relation to each other is the sort of versions of theme music that they use.
Yeah.
Here's what we do. When Penta's not on screen, we go, "Hey, where's Penta?"
Yeah, it's really silly. It's like,
yes!
It's such bad booking.
I mean, I don't mind it so much in the way that, like, as Robert kind of said, it's like they've clearly got a kind of understanding that they're doing their own thing, and right now the tag team aspect are like, right, we're going for the tag titles, but it's like, right, I just don't fucking like Cody. But they should at least kind of have a bit of all three of them together, just be like,
yeah,
we go with what we're doing here.
Yeah, like it doesn't mean that they have to fucking all be baby faces or whatever, but they could at least have a couple of backstage segments where Penta's like, yeah, you guys, if you guys want to tag, go for it. I have no issue with it. But I've got a problem with Corey, so I'm going to deal with that just now. Like, see if they're doing that, fine. Totally fine.
Yeah, and then even if they'd done something like where Phoenix and Pac are just like, yeah, you do your business and do it well or something like that, you know, still be encouraging to Penta and be like, this is our thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter how we act or what we're doing. Like, between the three of us, we all see this as right. And so, you know, fucking Penta could come in and just start kicking babies for all he wants, but as long as Phoenix and Pac are like, we're fine with that. Like, showing that the faction has solidarity between the three of them.
Oh, please make that the booking where he runs about kicking babies. That's fucking awesome.
It wasn't my fault.
But as long as he slaps the thigh when he kicks them.
Of course.
Did you enjoy Did you enjoy the Rangers thing yesterday? I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
We have to know. The people have to know.
He's slapping thigh, did he know?
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, considering the fact that after Matt's dickish comments, Don Callis comes in and he has a T-shirt that he wanted to give to Papa Buck that says "No more slapping thighs" on it. Then the Bucks start going, "Oh, Don, how's your eye?" And he's like, "Oh, it's fine." And then he just literally turns around the camera and goes, "Oh yeah, I was faking it, by the way." And then Don says, "Well, to be honest, I wanted you to hit me to show me a sign of the old Young Bucks." And just kind of like, "Oh, well, like, you're crap now," and all that. And it's like, I don't feel like this works very well when they're the tag team champions and you're trying to say that they're not good. Because, I mean, they are at the top of their division. You can't really argue with that. But I think it's meant to be more the kind of thing of almost like they lack killer instinct or something like that Kenny Omega has now.
I don't think it's supposed to be they're not good. They're kind of implying that you're not what you used to be because you're now nice and pandering to the crowd and you've got your nice wee tag titles. See, like, based on how this show went off, right, I fully believe that we're going to get a Bullet Club faction very soon with Omega, the Good Brothers, and the Bucks. It's going to happen.
But which again goes back to this whole thing that I was just talking about a minute ago with the way that Matt started the promo by being a complete dick. And it's like, right, so you're going to have Matt start a promo about like, well, you be as in singles matches, but these are tag team titles, so that doesn't really mean. And then like Don Callis comes in and is like, oh, well, you're not like how you used to be. Remember when you were dicks? It's like, fucking Matt was a dick a minute ago. To be honest, I would say the Young Bucks have been dicks for months.
Yeah, fair. I'll give you that. But I think that's definitely the way it's got to go. And I think that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
And I
So
think if it's not MJF's crew, which I won't mention the name of yet because we've not got there, but if it's not MJF's crew versus the Inner Circle and Blood or Guts, I think it might be
Guts.
I think it might be someone versus the new Bullet Club.
The Biz Cliz.
Yep.
So Don kind of ends the promo by saying, when you look in the mirror, do you see the same Nick and Matt that you've seen in Japan? And then he kind of walks off and the Young Bucks look like how the Young Bucks look. We get Jade Cargill in her first singles match against AEW Top 5 Danny Jordan. The mean girl. Jade
Fucking money.
Jade hits a German suplex on Danny Jordan that almost breaks her fucking neck.
It was awesome.
Because she's fucking money.
Aye.
Yeah. Glad to see that Danny Jordan was fine, but Jesus, did that look grim. Hopefully, I want to hope that was just a really good sell from Danny Jordan.
Well, I think it was a really good sell because Grim's what happens later on in the show.
Then Cargill hits the Jaded for the victory, which is the Glam Slam, not the Implant Buster. I actually kind of like the name Jaded for a finisher. Works well.
Yeah, it does.
Then Jade gets into Red Velvet's face at ringside, and clear that this is not over.
No, far from over. Because Red Velvet's just going to be that nippy wee ankle biter, just picking at Jade.
Aye. Yep. Nip.
And Jade's just going to have to fucking put her in a bag and throw her in the river.
Oh, don't do that. So up next, MJF and his new theme music comes out.
His new theme music?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I noticed that either.
It sounded like the song he normally comes out to when he's himself.
Yeah, and then it transitioned into a new rock kind of music. So it had the old intro, but then it changed.
I'll need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, me too. But I'm going to look it up now. Keep breaking down the segment, guys. I'll report back.
Yeah, just obviously get up the segment. And it does start off with a but when it changes to go into the but it changes into new music. So they all come out, Tully Blanchard, that then starts to run down the carnage from last week. Like, Jake Hager had two bottles smashed over his head. Jericho was lying in the corner bleeding. Sammy with a chair wrapped around his head. And then MJF starts to run down, the past 6 months, saying, I guess I'm the Judas now. And then he says, it wasn't easy pretending to be your friend for 6 months. And he made a comment about Jericho's hairline. I can't remember what the line going into that was, but the really good one was when he was like, "Oh yeah, I made you and Sammy about as distant as your left pec from your right pec."
I didn't understand that. Is he basically saying he doesn't have muscles?
Well, Jericho has the weird chest now, where his pectoral muscles like don't meet.
Uh-huh. But
Like, he's got Kofi Kingston chest.
I understood the thing about his hairline, where it was, I had to fall back behind you just as much as your hairline.
There it was. Yeah, but you know, Jericho has the weird Kofi Kingston-esque chest where like his pecs don't meet anymore.
Yeah, I thought he was basically saying he wasn't like fat anymore.
I mean, he could have been alluding to that as well, to be honest.
Sorry, I was sorry I said that, but I couldn't find it. So the thing about his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Right nipple, left nipple. Yeah, he's implying that fucking he's fat and out of shape.
Maybe.
But I like
It's definitely what he's implying.
I like the Excalibur pointed out MGF and Sean Spears were doing the gambling early pandemic.
Yes.
Has this been a long con since then?
Maybe. Because like all of them have kind of alluded to it in kind of ways. Like over time. So it's like it kind of is like a long-term booking thing, this. MGF starts going through his group and then kind of says, "Oh, Sean Spears has been a top guy for years," and I was like, "Yeah, maybe if he was in like Ring of Honor."
No, I don't think. I think what he meant to say was, well, not really what he meant to say. What he implied was that he's basically a top guy that hasn't been given top guy opportunities. Because I mean, I can't fault Sean Spears' wrestling. So when he's given an opportunity, I can't complain about him because he's normally good.
I think the whole Perfect 10 thing he did in NXT was that totally saved his career.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that this group needs to get their fucking working boots on to make Sean Spears relevant to the crowds now.
Yeah, totally. Because he's kind of just been like pulled in by the seam. Do you know what I mean? Like,
aye.
Because he's not really done anything in AEW.
Yeah, he came in and had that feud with Cody, and then done
that was
nothing.
it.
Got that black glove, and we're all like, "What the fuck's the deal with the glove?" Then patches the glove and fucks off for months.
Yeah,
I think.
We just done a Sean Spears AEW career retrospective in a matter of seconds.
Yep.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, man. I love Sean Spears. I think Sean Spears is great, and I would love to see him be pushed into a more prominent position.
I'm the same.
Which I think he will be in this faction, because Wardlow is still going to be kept as the lackey.
No,
yeah.
Purely, like, I'm saying he's going to be kept as a lackey, but purely just to keep that fucking feud with MGF at the back burner for when they decide to do it. So Wardlow is still going to be the lackey. Obviously, fucking FTR are going to be the tag team. So I think Sean Spears now has a really good spot to step out, maybe into like the TNT title picture and stuff, where MGF is main event material. Sean Spears can be the second level whilst everything else is going on. And that's not anything against Wardlow. I'm not saying Wardlow's shite or anything like that, but Wardlow should be kept back for a big feud with one of them.
Yeah, he's the Batista. He's the Batista of this group. He's going to be he's the prospect. He's the future, whereas everybody else is essentially the now.
Yeah.
And Wardlow is, I think, by the time that this faction is done with, will be the shit. I mean, he's already the shit, but he needs that. He needs the seasoning.
Do you know what I'd love to see happen at some point in maybe 6 months to a year's time? Wardlow gets pissed off with all the demands that comes his way by the rest of the faction. He wants to fight MJF, and MJF goes, "No, I'm not fighting you." In fact, I'll tell you what, Wardlow, I will fight you as long as you can beat everyone else in this faction. And we do maybe a 2-month program of Wardlow beating everyone and building his way to MJF.
Or a gauntlet match.
Maybe at Revolution or something like that next year, or Double or Nothing next year. He just builds his way through beating everybody to get to MJF.
See, I was on the same sort of wavelength there as you, Chris, but instead of him beating everybody in the new group, MJF would put the same sort of stipulations on him as he did Cody.
Mm-hmm.
I get to whip you. You need to fight in a cage match against my new hand-picked Monster Man.
Or like FTR in a handicap match in a cage.
And you can't touch me until the match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not against that.
Or all three of them in a cage. That would be awesome.
What if it is he gets... he has to fight FTR in a handicap match. Beats them. And then he has to do a best of 5 match with Shawn Spears, where MJF picks the stipulations for each leg of the best of 5.
This is getting deep.
Beats.
They
They obviously
just
wins the
started.
best of 5. Then he gets MJF.
They've literally just started and gave themselves a name, and we're already booking their breakup.
Well, the thing is, though, we all know that Wardlow is going to be the turncoat at some point.
Yeah.
You say turncoat, I say liberated.
But he is, though, like, he's going to be
Batista.
Oh no,
the
the War Dog's going to be the breakout.
Aye, the payoff to this storyline is going to be Wardlow versus MJF, in my opinion.
Probably for the belt.
Not against it.
Because
I think you're right.
everybody
It
loves Wardlow.
it probably will be for the belt. I think you're right, but I don't think it has to be. I think you could just
Doesn't
announce
have to
that
be.
for a pay-per-view if you book
Have
it
him
properly.
defend the ring.
belt. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That could be the defense of the
Finally.
ring for next year. Instead of doing the Battle Royal again, it could be MJF first. Because technically Wardlow has won it for MJF both times.
See,
Well, it comes out to those two at the end in the Battle Royal, and then the two of them move on to like the next week to fight for the ring. But
Oh
in
yeah,
the battle-
they could be MJF and Wardlow. They could be the two winners of the Battle Royal.
But what they do is Wardlow purposely keeps saving MJF from an elimination, and then purposely
Just-
takes everybody out.
Just to get to fight him.
Yeah. So there's there's times where MJF is just like dangling, like doing the skinning the cat thing, and then someone's like trying to kick his hands off, and then Wardlow grabs him, throws him out of the way, and then pulls MJF back into the ring, and then just turns around and just starts throwing people out, and then so MJF is like,
yeah.
and then
I'm
MJF
on
is just
board
like,
with that.
yeah, get on Wardlow, and then it comes down to the final two, and then MJF is like, wait, what?
No,
And then Wardlow's-
MJF shouldn't be like. MJF should be like, oh yeah. It should be like, yes, that's me. 3rd year in a row, I've retained the ring. Middle finger up at the time he's doing it and all that. And then Wardlow's like, no, like, I'm a professional. I'm gonna
I'm going to earn my keep.
Yeah. It's just very funny Wardlow, and he's like, no, it's not funny.
It will be funny
It's
when they take
very
it down
far
the
from
time
being
frame.
funny.
Yeah. So MJF then pulls off this line where he says, "I'm only 24 years old. I've got at least 25 more years in me." And then it dawned on me, if he retires 25 years from now, I would be 55 years old by the time MJF calls it a career.
He'll only be 49.
I know, which probably means he wouldn't retire at 49.
Wait, right? He said he was 23, right?
24, I think he said.
Aye, 24, right? His birthday was only 4 days ago. So you're telling me that he's done all this and he's only been 23?
Yeah. And he's been in the business for 4 years or something at this point.
Aye.
Have you ever seen his Tough Enough submission video?
I think I have.
Oh man, he's only 19 when he does it. It's a Tough Enough with Mandy Rose and all that in it. And honestly, man, he's only 19, and he is so fucking rounded in terms of his character, because he basically is just MGF, but talking himself into getting out of Tough Enough.
Well, there's your homework.
Oh, it's cracking, man. Like, watch it and you're like, he is so fucking... MGF is so good. Like, so fucking good.
I know, it's insane that at this point, somebody this young has risen to the ranks of, not only being one of the most prominent characters in a wrestling company on television, but also, main evented pay-per-views. I mean, say what you will about that John Moxley and MJF match. I thought it was all right, but it was definitely not, remarkable. But I mean, kind of as you alluded to in this.
But the thing is, though, should it have been remarkable? Because it wasn't portrayed as being an absolute fucking barn burner, game changing main event match. So
true. It was more of a storyline match.
So why, if it's that type of match, why push it as anything more than that? Because that just completely ruins your chance to push that further down the line.
Yeah, no, that's. I totally get what you're saying. I wasn't really trying to shit on it. It was just
I know you mean. I was just saying.
Yeah, it was just more of a kind of side note, because I feel like that would probably be the kind of argument that some people would bring up. Though, is like, oh well, he's main event at a pay-per-view and he was fucking 23 years old. It's like, yeah, but the match wasn't good. It was like, it was fine, but obviously it also worked because of the character. Where it wasn't meant to fucking, go balls out with John Moxley. Like, that was the whole point. It was a story match. But
yeah,
after saying all that, it is official. The pinnacle is here.
Indeed, the pinnacle is here.
And then we get just another slight little bit from the pinnacle later on, which was just a nice little bit of icing on the cake that we'll get to.
Yeah,
yeah, that was a little cherry on top of the sundae. But up next was the Jurassic Express and Bear Country taking on Matt Hardy, Private Party, and the Butch and the Blade. I think we're going to sneeze there. No, sorry, am I boring you?
Just. This match I was absolutely zero interest in it at all.
I was kind of the same, to be honest.
I'm very much not interested in Matt Hardy right now, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, this was the thing, was a couple of weeks ago I was probably talking about how, oh man, this new big money Matt Hardy thing, gimmick has really kind of changed my sort of opinions on him. And then we got to Revolution where he stepped back in the ring. It's like, oh yeah, but then you got to remember there's Matt Hardy wrestling and nobody cares.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Great manager, but nobody wants to see him wrestle anymore.
He is, I think I've said this on the podcast before. He is very much Mick Foley levels of just call it quits, man.
Yeah. So there was a point in this match where the Jurassic Express do their kind of pose as they cleared the ring, and then Bear Country just either side of Marco's stunt, just grab him, throw him over the top rope on a butcher blade and the Private Party, and Marco nearly dies because he almost overshoots everybody. There's a part where, and then after that, Jungle Boy and Lucha start having words with the Bears, just being like, what the fuck was that? The end of the match comes with Marco gets tagged in, and then Butcher and the Blade on the outside just start taking out all of Marco's tag team partners. This allows Private Party to get the gin and juice, and then Hardy hits the twist of fate for the victory. And then that was really about it. No, nothing really ever followed that. So we go backstage, and we are hanging with Mox and Kingston. And then they start talking about all the problems that they have, being the Good Brothers. Then King kind of calls out Phoenix and Pac, calling them cowards and saying that Kingston and Mox are real men. So at least he somewhat kind of addressed that. Mm-hmm. Then we have Christian Cage backstage, where he says that he is the workhorse, and then he'll show that as he steps into the ring. And pretty much he wants to be in Kenny's position.
He
but
outworks everyone.
Apparently.
And do you know what? See that outworks everyone? I genuinely, he's not wrestled in 7 years, but I could completely believe that moniker. I think that's really fucking great booking on the part of AEW for Christian Cage.
It's a little interesting though, because like, while we all know that Christian is a great wrestler and all that, he was never, well, at least I would never consider him to be, the workhorse wrestler. So it's like, it's almost like they really are trying to get a new spin on what they want Christian in this company.
I don't think so, man. I think it's a fucking very realistic spin as to what it was before, but just not appreciated for.
Maybe.
I think Christian was an incredibly underrated wrestler before he quote unquote retired. He won the world title purely because Edge had to retire, which I think is a fucking travesty. I think he should have won the world title on his own merit. He should have had a great run in the world title on his own merit.
Right.
So I think this whole outwork everyone gimmick now works really well based on the last couple of years of his official career.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think like this is got to be this thing of if he really pulls it out in this sort of appearance in AEW for these next couple of years or however long it is he's going to be there, and he really does show that like he can outwork everyone, then he would definitely deserve the moniker.
I think he deserves it now, regardless. Like, because it's Christian, man. It's not as if it's some arsehole that was there for a couple of years. He's now decided to pop back up and shouting outwork everyone and all that. Like, yeah, like Christian totally deserves it, and I think Christian does and will outwork everyone.
I'm totally on board for this, and to be honest, if there's all those people out there that piss him off, it's like, no, it's Christian, yeah, I wanted it to be blah blah blah, and it's like, well, you know what, it's not.
Well,
why can't you just?
As I get what you're saying, I've already
just enjoy it for what it is, Jesus.
I've already expressed my feelings about Christian going to AEW and how much I wanted one more Edge and Christian run. But yeah, I'm not going to get it. And the Royal Rumble wasn't a fucking hello. It was a goodbye. As all that shit has been done. But I think Christian's fucking great, and I think Christian should be given all the fucking opportunity in the world to really be pushed to the main event.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck, man. Like, 'cause so many people rant about AEW signing all these quote-unquote old WWE guys. Right,
I know.
See if Vince isn't booking a Mark Henry that wants to be a fucking monster Mark Henry, I am more than happy for fucking AEW to book him. Much like I am more than happy for fucking AEW to book a Christian.
Yeah, I'm fed up with everybody going, AEW is just TNA 2.0, and it's like, well, no, like, and even then, like, when people were complaining about TNA hiring all of WWE's outcasts, it's like, well, what do you want them to do? Are you saying that just because you don't work for WWE, that means you're not allowed to wrestle anymore? Like, it's all that kind of thing where it's like, other people need to like make a living, and if they make a living on another show, then like, what is it to you? Like, see, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Then that means you don't have to see them wrestle. You don't have to fucking piss and moan about them wrestling and all that sort of jazz. But it's just that whole sort of thing of, it's really just bugging me now. It's like, like they've hired the new WWE outcasts. It's like, well, most of these WWE outcasts have hired went on to be pretty damn good. Like, I'd still say Matt Hardy was the worst one that AEW has hired, and even then, like, as I kind of just said a minute ago,
it's not
the
that bad.
Yeah, the big money Matt character as like a manager is brilliant. Like, I mean, yes, he's not great in the ring, but so, you know what? Limit his wrestling. Like, make him the big money Matt character as a manager. Or like, you know, like kind of similar to like a Heenan family kind of thing where he gets other people and he'll just pay them out of the arse to do his bidding for him. But I don't know, like, Robert, what do you kind of think about this situation of like people just complaining that anytime any other company picks up somebody that WWE just fired, it's like, and then like, ooh, well, it's just like TNA 2.0 is what they're calling AEW these days.
Cool, I like TNA.
Ditto.
I don't know what else more to say.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You like Impact. I get that you probably do like TNA, but I think the whole TNA 2.0 thing is different to saying Impact 2.0 is completely wrong. But
no, I meant what I said. Like, say, like the 2005 to like 2009, just before Hogan came in. I love that era of TNA. And you get folk in it, you get the Dudleys in it, you get Christian, you get Tomko, you get, what's his face? Booker T, Kevin Nash.
yeah, okay.
All these former ex-people from, and everybody's, they're just taking all the rejects. And I'm like, aye. And what? It's fun television. It's good wrestling. If I'm entertained, I am happy. And plus, it's like Griz said there, what, so once these people leave WWE, they've just to never work again?
Yeah, no, totally. I completely agree.
It really, if anything, it's kind of a compliment. In my opinion.
Yeah, that I'm not against that at all.
So where were we on the card?
I'm not even sure what show we're talking about, to be perfectly honest. There's Griz back, he will answer the question.
What are you talking about? I was here the whole time. So up next we had Moxley and Kingston taking on the Good Brothers. So Kingston gets jumped as he was making his entrance, which means I don't get to hear his sweet-ass theme music. And then Mox obviously comes from his den at the back of the arena. So the Good Brothers hit Mox with a Magic Killer on the outside and send Kingston in the ring for the match to begin. Moxley finally makes his way up on the apron just to get a boot off of Big LG, kicking him back off the apron. Eventually, Mox gets tagged in. So the end of this match came with Mox getting in the ring, the Good Brothers looking for another Magic Killer, but Kingston comes in, takes Gallows out of the ring, and while the two of them are at the ring, Moxley gets a sneaky roll-up for a victory. And see, that is how you get a meaningful roll-up victory.
Yep. I noticed during this match that Tony called Gallows Luke Gallows.
Uh-oh. Well, somebody gets fired for that blunder. Thank you.
Track.
So the Good Brothers continue the beatdown afterwards. Kenny Omega comes out with a chair, and he just kind of sits down and just starts getting in Moxley's face. And then with Kingston's last-ditch burst of energy, he just runs up and just tackles Kenny Omega off the chair. He then gets a Magic Killer for his troubles, and then Anderson wraps the chair around Kingston's ankle, and then jumps off the second rope, crushing the chair around Kingston's ankle. And then there was this really good bit where Kenny Omega just kind of like grabbed his face, and he had it like right next to his, and then Kingston, even still trying to fight, like just in pure panic mode, tried to rake the eyes, and it's like, just something just so minuscule like that is just like adds so much to like a person's character.
Yeah.
And then even the point where like kind of as the rest of this shit was going on, when everybody was leaving, like Kingston I think was still trying to tell the referee, help me get in the ring, and the ref was like, dude, you can't get in the ring. You can't move right now. He's like, no, I want to go in the ring. Like, help me get in the ring. So they wrap the chair around Moxley's neck, and then this is when the Bucks come out. They start to get into the face of Omega and the Good Brothers before Kenny could stomp on the chair. The Good Brothers throw up the too sweet, and then the Bucks start to walk out on them, but they just continue fucking arguing back and forth constantly. And then Moxley finally picks up a chair and starts swinging, which clears the ring.
I genuinely couldn't tell you where this is going with the Bucks. I can't put my finger on it.
I know, it's too many different kind of avenues right now.
Which I like it because I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. I don't like this.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, we'll give it more time, I reckon, because Chris obviously has his idea of the Bullet Club are going to come full circle, and the fact that you keep just calling it the Bullet Club as well, like you just fly out calling it that now.
Well, in Moxley's promo, they were like, "Can we say that? Is it legal?"
I guess.
Forbidden door.
So to be honest, that promo was one of the highlights of the week.
I thought that promo was fantastic. Absolutely.
I thought it was great.
Which one, the Mox promo?
Yeah, the Mox and Kingston promo.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Which is a second week in a row. That's been a great promo. Because last week when they explained,
kind of glossed over it a wee bit, to be honest.
When they explained why Eddie oversold the explosion.
Yeah.
And he's like, I blacked out because of the fear.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's only one way you could really have went with that, and it was what it was, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think the explosion was that big a deal. Clearly plenty of people do, but I don't get it.
Well, all they need to do is promote that match again, then they'll get people watching for one way or another. They'll either get people watching to be like, let's see if we fuck it up again this time, or they'll get the ones going, they have to do the big one this time.
Aye, totally.
So Sting and Darby are out next. Darby says, I've held this belt since November and I've only defended it 3 times. And that's shit, to be honest. So
Do you know what I liked about that? Do you know what I liked about that? I like the fact the crowd cheered and he shut the crowd down.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this is pish.
Absolutely.
So he says he wants to be a fighting champion. Now that this Team Taz shit is finally over with, his fucking words, not mine. And oh my god, I think this might be the light at the end of the tunnel. He says, now that the Team Taz stuff is over, I want to be a defending champion. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show respect to the best TNT champion there was and give any member of the Dark Order the first shot in an open challenge. This then brings out Archer, who was again complaining about Sting being out again. It's like, what, so Tony, you're just going to interview Sting every fucking week? And then he kind of turns to Darby and it's like, oh, well, I know how much you love coffins. So if you ever step in the ring with me, I'll put you in one. And then Jake the Snake says, Darby, I think you left your little bun costume backstage because you're a little weenie boy.
You know, I thought that bun was funny, but I thought it was really badly delivered.
Yeah, because it was like that the kind of thing where it's like he kind of said the first line of like, oh, you left your bun costume backstage, and everyone was like, what the fuck is he talking about? And he's like, because you're a little weenie boy, and then they're like, hot dog.
That was so shite that it was funny.
Yeah, totally. I might agree with you, Robert.
If anybody else said it, it would have came off like a wet fart in church. But because it was Jake the Snake that said it, I think it was just so endearing that it just kind of made it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
But
And
then
then
it got serious, which I liked as well.
Jakers.
Aye, sneakies.
What else did he say? Because I kind of only took note of the weenie boy comment.
He basically says to Sting, you know me, you know what I'm capable of. Watch out.
Yeah. And then this brings out Team Taz, and it was like, oh my god, no.
Yeah, I'm sick of this.
Yeah. But, however, it went in a completely opposite direction, and now this has me intrigued. So, they come out, and Cage grabs a mic and says, after that match, Sting, I respect you, and I don't agree with what Ricky Starks has been saying. You are still an icon. And then Taz snatches the microphone from him, and then just everybody's just bawling at him, like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? What are you saying? And then Cage just kind of wanders off and just ditches the rest of Team Taz.
I'm very happy he went back down the entranceway that he came up. Because see how if I heard, oh, did you see what Grampy went down?
Oh, God, aye.
Fair play.
Like, Cage in the face, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of these things where it's like, where do you go from here? Is there going to be dissension now between Cage and Team Taz? Like, is Cage going to become a face? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing that, because I think, like, Cage has probably kind of done all that he can do under the Team Taz sort of banner, and if he turns face and kind of goes out his own, I wouldn't be opposed to that either, personally. But if he just started to become like a face, but like a really like killer face, where he's like demolishing people, and kind of was like, oh well, to be honest, Taz has been holding me back. I've been listening to him for all this time, and where did it really get me? It didn't really get me anywhere. The one time where I had a world title shot, he threw the fucking towel in because I wouldn't tab. It's because I wasn't gonna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what do you think? Is there anything that's come to mind?
Well, they brought in Powerhouse Hobbs for a reason.
I'm not a big Powerhouse Hobbs fan.
I think maybe you get Cage out of Team Taz in feuds with Powerhouse Hobbs for a bit. Not too long. Because I think the big feud out of this is going to be him and Ricky.
Yeah. Because they were always like bros together, and Powerhouse Hobbs just kind of seems like the extra guy.
Yeah.
So we move on to Ray Phoenix versus Already in the Ring and Helico.
Nice to see that he's alive.
Yep, I appreciated it. I thought that this was an amazing showing for Angelico. Like, he really dominated this match and made everything look pretty badass.
See what happens when you give great wrestlers a decent amount of time.
Yeah, who'd have thunk it? But the ending comes with a Phoenix getting a crucifix powerbomb and the Rikishi driver with his little knee for the victory. And to be honest, I think that was almost the entire amount of offense that Phoenix got in this match, because he got very little, but he just kept
squeaked one out.
Yeah, and that does wonders for someone like Angelico, personally.
Yeah,
genuinely think that like that really helped. Like, it's one of those things where, you know, sometimes a loss really makes it look better. This moves on to Alex Marvez with an interview with Miro, and he starts asking Miro about the rematch that was stipulated to them from their match at Revolution. Miro says, well, you know what, I'm over this. And then Kip comes in, he's like, yeah, well, you know what, I'm not, because they ruined my wedding and they made my wife look like an idiot. And to be honest, like, I'm not really that happy with you either, because whether you meant to do it or not, you pushed Chuck into Penelope.
You got it right the first time.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong. You pushed Chuck in. God damn it. You pushed I smell
that's
ice
his new
cream.
name. Fuck it, that's his new name from now on.
Chunk Taylor.
Chunk Taylor.
Or Truffle Shuffle. So, yeah, like he says, you put, whether you meant to or not, you push Chuck into Penelope, and now she's hurt. Miro says, look, listen, the worst thing for you is to have your wife at ringside. See, when the bell rings, I don't care about you. I don't care about your wife. I don't care about my opponents. All I care about is finally becoming AEW World Champion. But then as soon as that bell rings again, we're buds again. And then they kind of walk off.
I like this because he's basically saying, look, I had my wife beside me and look where it got me.
Yeah. Well, you can't argue with that. So this brings us to the rundown for next week on Dynamite, where Nyla Rose will take on Ty Conti in a rematch from their match in the tournament. FTR and Spears take on Dante Martin and the Varsity Blondes. And then they cut backstage to the members of Dark Order, and they're going to ask who is going to go for the TNT title. -1 runs up and says, me, I'm going to do it. And then Uno kind of holds him back. He's like, maybe in a few years. So then they kind of go, who should go for the belt? And kind of everybody raises their hand. And then one of them just goes, I think Johnny should do it. So Johnny Hungy will wrestle.
Meat.
Johnny Hungy will wrestle Darby Allin for the TNT Championship next week. And then we have Kenny Omega versus Matt Sydal. If Matt Sydal wins, he will get a future AEW Championship match. And then we get MJF going up to the Inner Circle's locker room backstage, rips the plaque off the door, and replaces it with the Pinnacle's plaque.
Those dirty bastards.
Well, speaking of dirty bastards, the following contest is a lights out match. So in just a few moments, the lights will go out, indicating the ending of our broadcast. When they come back on, this match will have no disqualifications, no countouts, and falls count anywhere. As Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, took on Thunder Rosa.
And for the first time in the 3-week history of Robert's Wrestler of the Week, we have a tie.
Oh my God.
Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. I couldn't pick one.
Uh-huh.
Had to be the two for this match because this was fucking awesome.
It takes two to tango. Or something like that.
Yes, it does. And so to be honest, I was skeptical going into this.
This is either going to be amazing or going to be an absolute train wreck.
And it turns out this was the best lights out unsanctioned match that they've had in AEW, in my opinion. It went just the right amount of time. There was the right amount of violence without being too fucking gross.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually meant something.
Yeah, this meant a lot. Like, it really built up to this well, and it got pulled off well. A few of the kind of key moments I've taken note of are Reba attacks Rosa with a crutch to start the match. This gives Baker a chance to hit a dive and an air raid crash on the stage, which only gets a 1 count. They show Shida watching the match backstage, which was an interesting note. Baker, yeah, well, definitely checking out probably what would be the two top challengers for her belt right now.
But it doesn't make sense though, because technically this match isn't happening.
True, but I think like whoever comes out of this would still definitely be up there, because I think both of them are pretty much up there anyway.
Well, your current number one contender's fucking Red Velvet.
Well, fuck it. Like that could be a decent little throwaway title match on like AEW, like their next, like their next special Dynamite. But at one point, Baker stomps the head of Rosa into the steps on the outside, and this busts Rosa like wide open. There's a superplex by Baker on a mountain of chairs. Kind of mumbled through that.
I liked how they flipped him all the one way so that they weren't going to get fucked.
Mm-hmm.
When the cheers the other way, they were really safe about that spot.
Reba then introduces a ladder, but it's Rosa that gets the use out of it, hitting a drop kick to the face of Baker. That then opens up the face of Baker.
And Baker fucking charts, I think, number one in the Muta scale.
Jesus, yeah.
That was like the worst bleed. Look, on a woman in wrestling that I've seen.
Yeah. It rivals. It really rivals, almost rivaled Eddie Guerrero in a kind of way.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that was. At one point, it was literally passion out our heads.
Like the thing was, like, he didn't look that bad to begin with because of the way like her kind of head was tilted back. But then you noticed that it was streaking like all the way down the back of her head. So as soon as she tilted her head forward, it was just.
She's obviously cut herself in her hairline or somewhere in her hair where if it scars you won't see it.
Yeah.
Rather than just wrinkling your forehead and doing it in between the wrinkles.
Mm. Yeah, do it on the hairline, maybe. Is that not how they used to do it?
That's where a lot of people do it. That's where they do it now, is they do the hairline.
There's a Death Valley driver by Rosa off the top rope onto the ladder that just looked grim because it didn't look like they kind of hit it flush, which kind of made it look arguably better in a way.
Yeah, it didn't look as though it was rehearsed. It looked as though they were actually just having a fight and she was just trying to do something to sort of take it out.
It doesn't matter if it looks pretty just as long as it's effective.
Yes. There was a ball in the shoe ugly.
There's a DDT and a stomp on the chair by Baker that gets 2 count. Baker then sets up for lockjaw by applying the glove and then pulls out a bag of tacks.
But come on to fuck, guys. Don't try and fucking insult one intelligence.
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
You pull a bag under the ring, you know what it's going to be.
Unless it's a Hyper Maseo match, and sometimes that tends to be bags of dinosaurs.
It was Hyper Maseo in this match.
She was not. She was not.
There you go.
Reba comes in before Rosa can hit a powerbomb. Rosa sends Reba out of the ring onto the apron and then drop kicks her through a table. Then there's a powerbomb onto the tacks by Rosa, but Baker still kicks out at 2. Then Lockjaw gets locked in on the thumbtacks, but Rosa counters by rolling Baker back into the thumbtacks to break the submission.
Very, very clever.
Oh. And then it all ends with the Fire Thunder driver off the apron, through a table, and mercifully, this match is over, and Rosa picks up the victory, which means there are only 1-1 now. And
this was the end, because you can't. You're not going to top this.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I kind of don't want to see another one because this was perfect.
Yep.
What a fucking ending to arguably a really good AEW this week.
Yeah.
But now we'll flip it over to the other side of Wednesday nights with NXT.
Before we go, I was talking about something grim.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That spot where Bear Country threw fucking Marco.
Yeah.
I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead.
I brought that up, but I think you left the lappy for a moment.
I went for a shit.
Okay, well, there you go then. There's that.
Disgusting.
It was fucking one of these.
But no, I swear to fuck, I thought he was dead because I actually let out an.
Yeah.
Amanda was in the kitchen making homemade cookies, and she came through with a handful of dough, going, "Are you okay? What happened? Are you okay?" And I went, "I'm watching wrestling," and she's like, "You're a dick."
Give me some cookie dough. So NXT this week started with Finn Balor. He starts listing off all the people that he's beaten before. and says Cross's time is up at TakeOver. Cross then comes out and says that this wasn't going to happen until they sorted their separate affairs, which is just that little tidbit that I really enjoyed to kind of be like why Cross didn't just go straight for Balor. It was they both had something they needed to sort, and now that they've sorted everything, it's just down to them. Nobody else is going to get involved and fuck this over. So Balor says Cross doesn't have what it takes to beat him. Balor keeps mentioning the main event of TakeOver, though, as if Cross hasn't main evented TakeOver before, because he just kept going, oh, well, when you go into the main event at TakeOver, and it's like you keep saying that as if, like, as I said, you keep saying that in the kind of way that Cross hasn't main evented TakeOver before, which he did when he beat Keith Lee for the NXT title.
But he also injured himself during that match.
It was still a main event.
Yeah, but I think maybe what he's saying is you've been in a main event, but you're not ready for a main event.
Maybe. If he said that, that would be different. But while these two are kind of arguing, Oney Lorcan and Downey Burch come out, and then they say that Balor should be wrestling done at TakeOver for some reason, even though that already happened. And then Scarlett challenges Oney and Burch to put their tag titles on the line against Cross and Balor, and they're like, no. And then Scarlett, which looked on this episode, then comes out and just starts kind of rubbing up against the two of them and kind of saying, oh, well, you wouldn't want to be seen as like cowards, would you? Like, I mean, I think this would be really good for the two of you if you were managing to take them out. And like, you wouldn't want to be seen as scared or weak or anything like that, would you? And like, yeah, you're right. You're right. We don't want to be seen as weak. Yeah, you know what? You've got it. Tonight, we're going to defend our tag team championships against you two.
Dummies.
Yeah.
Pair of dum-dums.
I mean, don't blame them. Dexter Lumis takes on Austin Theory.
Oh. I just want to give Austin Theory a big cuddle.
So
big
Theory,
dope.
he is a big dope, and he's a dope that's on his own because Theory's on an iPad at the Garganos, and he's like, "Where are you guys?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're at home." And he's like, "Well, but why?" And Johnny's like, "This is the last step of your therapy. You have to do this all on your own. We'll be here watching." So during the match, like they go at it for a little while. Dexter then hits a lariat on Theory and then kind of stalls and offers the hand to help him up. Then Theory takes it, helps, gets up, and then gives Dexter Lumis a massive fucking hug. It's like, oh, I knew it. But then Dexter tries to lock in the silence. So Theory gets angry. Fights out. He goes for the TKO, and then he just starts screaming something along the lines of Johnny Gargano was right this whole time. Goes for the TKO. Lumis counters, connects with the silence, and it's over.
Was this a double turn?
It almost feels like.
Are the way faces now?
Or is Theory just the face now? It kind of feels like Theory and Indy Hartwell are like faces
With
in a
that
heel stable. Yeah.
And it's that sort of yin and yang type thing.
Yeah. Because I don't know how Theory's going to feel now afterwards, but obviously I would assume Indy's still Mega on the Dex train.
Yeah, I think she maybe wants him to put the silence on her. Like that corpse song. Choke me like you hate me. Dur, 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 dur.
Did you say Cannibal Corpse?
No, just corpse.
All right.
He's a gamer on YouTube that has like the deepest voice in the world.
So Tommaso Ciampa is backstage, and he kind of alludes to the fact that Thatcher's not here, and he kind of tells Mackenzie, "Oh yeah, next time you see Imperium, ask them what happened to Alexander Wolf, and by the time their match happens later, there'll only be one of them left standing in front of me." So then Cole comes out, calls out Kyle O'Reilly. Regal comes out and says, Kyle, you know that Cole, you know that Kyle isn't here tonight. And then Kyle O'Reilly pops up on the screen, essentially like interrupting Regal. Kyle is sitting in his car and he says, well, I can't wait to get my hands on you. And he kind of just alludes to the fact that he's just pretty much going to become a stalker, because he kind of says, I know where you live, I know where you hang out, I know where you buy your video games. And he says he's really impatient and doesn't want to have to wait, but he doesn't know what he's going to do or what he has to do to take out Cole, but whatever it is, he's going to do it. And then Cole kind of turns around, goes up to Regal, is like, are you serious? Are you going to let this happen? Well, if he's going to threaten me and he's going to come try and find me and he doesn't know what's going to happen, well, it's like, what if I find him first? And then Cole storms off. We continue backstage with Shotzi Blackheart that has cornrows on one side of her hair.
Braids, not cornrows.
Ali, huh?
Shotzi Moon or Ember Blackheart.
Aaliyah and Jesse come up and they make the challenge for next week. And so the tag team titles are on the line next week as Aaliyah and Jesse Kamea will take on Shotzi and Ember. Devlin pulls up to the building, and then Legado del Fantasma take on Breezango. Breezango, or Breeze more specifically, gets hung up on the ropes, and Fantasma hit the Russian leg sweep kick combo for the victory. And then Santos Escobar calls out Jordan Devlin, and Devlin makes his way out. Devlin says, I didn't need to jump you or have Two Stooges come out with me because I told you that I was going to do this. And then Santos kind of says, I've redefined what it is to be a cruiserweight, and I have held this division down for the past year while you've been gone. So Santos says, let's do it. Let's go at TakeOver, and we'll see who the definitive champion is. Then Devlin just rears his head back, gives a nice old headbutt square to the face, and connects with the Devil Inside back suplex.
Devil Inside.
Yeah, it's quite a nice little punny name there.
But it's also the same finisher almost the same finisher as to what Cross uses. It's basically the Doomsday Suplex as well.
Yeah, kinda.
So something's gotta give.
I feel like there's a slight variation.
Yeah, he basically pulls them from the floor up.
Yeah, so like he has a kind of wind up to it.
Yeah, but it's essentially the same move.
Kind of on the base of it, yeah. I guess we'll kind of see if that does change. Because, I mean, Cross kind of...
He uses the choke as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Cross is kind of primarily, since he came back, utilised the choke more so than his Saito suplex.
Mm-hmm.
Cole starts leaving the arena and promises to find and Hart O'Reilly. And then we get the video package, and Sari is finally coming to NXT.
Who is she?
She is a big player, or was a big player in Japan. She's kind of been a bit everywhere.
So she's a freelancer then?
I don't know if she was a freelancer per se. Like, I only caught like the kind of arse end of what she was doing, where she did crop up here and there. I did see a really good match between her and Natsumi Maki, or Natsumi Poi from Stardom now. The little girl with the I say little girl, she's about fucking 24. Well, she is short, so little girl does kind of work. But you know, I don't want to say little girl when I'm talking about tiny Japanese woman.
Yeah.
The girl with the majorette stick from Donna del Mundo.
Right.
They had a fucking great match, and that was meant to be our send off actually, because it was in Tokyo Joshi Pro. It was on the January 4th, maybe January 5th, Tokyo Joshi Pro show that was on kind of before one of the Wrestle Kingdom shows. And that was meant to be her sort of goodbye Japan match, because she was then meant to come to America and sign her contract to start working for NXT. Then the pandemic happened and all that got pushed back. So everybody had been wondering over the course of like the past year, is Sari ever going to come to NXT? And I guess now it's official. She's coming. And her name is essentially the same, but kind of different now. So it's pronounced Saray now. So there you go. Maybe a wee deep dive into Sari, maybe on the cards.
Nah, I still think Gonzo's gonna take it.
Oh no, I'm not talking about like Sari being champion anytime soon. I mean like a deep dive as in maybe we can have a couple of looks at some of her other matches and get like a little taste of what she's about before she debuts.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I do like some Joshi wrestling. I only like to watch it when I go to yours because it's like a nice wee treat.
Yeah. And it's just appreciative to finally sometimes have somebody sit and watch it with. Because I don't think not a lot of people fucking understand it.
It's weird as fuck.
It can be.
Like that one we were watching on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Griz's worst wrestler of the year is now a clown.
Mm-hmm.
And much to Griz's displeasement, if that's a word. Well, if it isn't, I just made it up. Too much to his displeasement, I quite enjoyed her as the clown.
She's just doing the exact same thing as if she's painted like a clown now.
Hey, what can I tell you? I like it.
No. So Zoe,
maybe if I see it more, I might not like it. But that one time, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because it was like that kind of thing where when you seen Death Yama-san, you were like, "Oh, she's funny." Like I like that, and then like the match went on, and she just done the exact same thing. You're like, "Okay, this has become boring quickly."
But now she's a clown. I'm entertained again.
But she's doing all the same stuff.
Yeah, the heart wants what the heart wants.
But it's literally the same gimmick, except she's painted like a clown, which makes it worse.
right now I've got a fever, and the only prescription is clowns.
No. I can give you Insane Clown Posse if that's a good trade.
No, Japanese lady clowns.
God damn it.
Give me Psycho Kana.
I can maybe do you Igar from Sendai Girls. She's hilarious. Well, actually, she's not much of a clown, more so like a zombie, but she is incredibly entertaining. In fact, there's two. Well, she has a painted face. She looks more like Vampiro.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, in fact, remind me next time that we're having a swashbuckle. I need to break out a couple of matches from two wrestlers from Sendai Girls to show you. One of them being Igar, and I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but there's a really good comedic wrestler that I have to show you. Like, she's fucking hilarious. In fact, there's a match I think that she had with Kana during her sort of Goodbye Japan tour, where she comes out dressed as Kana, but she has just like fucking gigantic like fake tits and all that. But she comes out in, like the same gear and like with the same hair and all that, and so it's like Kana versus Kana.
Kanza.
Cans indeed. But yes, we'll definitely look into that. So Zoe Stark took on Dakota Kai. Again, another fucking great showing for Stark. They're really high on this chick. So Stark with a springboard something, but gets countered into a super kick by Dakota Kai, very a la Shelton Benjamin and Shawn Michaels from the Gold Rush tournament all those moons ago, even to the point where on commentary one of them kind of mentioned Shawn Michaels. Kai gets a running corner kick for two. Starts with a rolling fireman's carry and goes up to the top, but Kai stops her and gets the one woman go-to kick for the victory. As I said, Stark kind of looks good again, and she's been really impressive recently. And as Kai and Gonzo start getting in Stark's face, Io comes out with the contract, which she just slaps into the chest of Gonzo and then walks away. So Rigo is backstage after that and is taken away by a stagehand. We find out what happens in a little bit. Grizzled Young Vets have a promo about MSK smashing up Gibbo's hand and how they'll be after them when they come back. Marcel Bartel takes on Tommaso Ciampa, and as they make their way to the ring, Ciampa attacks Agner before the match starts, and then the match kind of ends with Ciampa sending Bartel into Agner, who was on the apron. Then he hits the German, rolling Bartel into the ropes, hits the Willow's Bell for the victory. But that is not all, folks, because Imperium's theme song starts again. And Big Boy is here. Walter is back.
Must have been on the same flight as Devlin.
Probably. Wonder if they knew. they just kind of got on the flight. It's like, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm away in America.
Me too. That's my Walter impression. It also
like
sounds like an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression since they're both Austrian.
Aha. So the rest of Imperium jump Ciampa, and then Walter with one big old chop takes Ciampa down. Then he hits the power bomb, and then they do their little pause.
Ba-dum.
Dun, 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 dun. Wait, that's the wrong song. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. So then we cut back a bit down the road from the CWC, and O'Reilly is getting arrested. Cole is also in handcuffs as Regal kind of arrives, and Cole just continues screaming, "KO tried to run me off the road. This is ridiculous." An update on that shortly. LA Knight cuts a promo while he's going to the ring. Just, the usual stuff. But in the background, you kind of see Bronson Reed wander into Knight's locker room. We move on to LA Knight taking on, already in the ring, August Grey. So Knight takes Grey down at one point, but as LA Knight was on top, Reed comes out with look, Chris is back.
Well,
Reed comes out with Knight's awesome blue leather jacket, and then he starts trying to put it on and just bursts the whole thing. He kind of puts it on and does the whole flex pose. It just bursts the whole thing open. August Grey gets a roll-up off a 2 count, gets a roll-up for a 2 count. Grey then tips spinning crossbody, but misses. LA Knight hits what looks like the EC3's kind of 1%er kind of finisher and gets the victory. But then he kind of picks up his leather jacket and looks very disappointed, as am I must admit, because that was a badass jacket. Gonzo is backstage. She says that Io's title reign is over when she puts pen to paper. Then Kai comes in and says next week the two of them are going to be in tag team action against Io and Stark. And they need to remind NXT why they are the best in the tag team division. So we got that going on. And this brings us to the main event. Karrion Kross and Finn Balor taking on, already in the ring, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch for the NXT Tag Team Championships. So the end of this match kind of came about with Finn Balor hitting a double drop kick on the outside to Burch, who then falls into Scarlett. Finn then stands over Scarlett, seemingly checking on her. But this causes Kross to go absolutely ballistic, grabs Finn by the neck and starts bouncing his head off the kind of cage and plexiglass on the outside, grabs him, sends him into the ring. Then Lorcan gets a running lariat and pins Finn Balor.
That's Balor's first loss in NXT, isn't it, since he's come back?
I think Pete Dunne pinned him in a 6-man tag a while ago.
All right, okay, right.
Off the top of my head. I think that was after their takeover match. So Kross then proceeds to destroy absolutely everyone, chokes out Balor, and then kind of lets him go. And then seemingly Scarlett sort of starts helping up Balor just to be like, oh, I know you're checking on me, so I'll check on you. Only for Kross to hit the forearm smash to the back of the head, taking down Finn Balor. And then Scarlett sort of whispers in his ear again, saying, everything happens for a reason. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. And that is NXT. So we got one more thing to do before we get out of here this evening. And there's only 5 matches on the card, so let's very, very quickly give us some fast reactions. That's not a good thing. Fast reactions.
We got it.
Yeah. That's nice of you to join us. So we got 5 matches on the card for Fastlane. Here we go with our quick predictions. There we go. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler take on Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, me neither. I don't give a fuck about... I mean, I give a fuck about Sasha Banks. Don't give a fuck about the other three. Drew McIntyre takes on Sheamus in a singles match, apparently.
Drew.
I can tell you are very excited by this pay-per-view. I mean, it kind of needs to be Drew. They've already announced that he's going to be wrestling Bobby at Mania, so it kind of needs to be. Big E takes on the new Nigerian Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, questionable.
Say, to be honest, I could not give a fuck about that Sunday.
Wow. All right, well, let me see how you feel about this match. I'm going for Apollo Crews. Alexa Bliss takes on Randy Orton.
What?
Alexa Bliss takes on Randy Orton.
Right, okay, well, I'll watch one match from Sunday.
Yeah, well, maybe two. Because your main event of the evening is Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. And we will have a special guest enforcer, either Edge or Jey Uso, depending on who wins the main event of tonight's SmackDown.
Nah, I'm still watching one match.
Fair enough. Well, that is your Fastlane card. And everyone sounds riveted. Riveted, to tell you. I don't even think it's the right word I'm using. Jesus.
There's literally one match on that card that interests me.
Looks like I might be reviewing this one myself, lads.
Yep, you might have. You'd probably be better watching it and just doing a commentary yourself, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah. Done and dusted.
Fuck it, you know what?
Call me when we get to Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton.
Well, I might be watching it live, to be honest, so...
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it a go. I don't know. I'll see if Chris watches it. But I don't know. At this point, I think everybody's kind of ready for bed at this point. So on that note, I've been Chris motherfucking Hughes.
I've been the Griz.
I've been the Griz.
And I've been the Griz.
Grizzle.
Fizzle.
For shizzle.
Ho!
C.
I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna say words and
Say
extend
bye.
this. Bye.
Flugelhorn.
Flugelhorn.
Remember, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Heel Podcast. And also, don't forget, you can hear our archives on the World Wide Web at heelpodcast.co.uk. Well, that's all, folks. So long. Have a good day.